Yes, good evening, good night, good morning. Welcome to the Saudichress Show family, wherever you are. Let me give you this a special welcome to this another episode of the Saudichress Show. Tonight, as customary, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be looking at educational content and more so. If you look what we plan tonight for our discussion, I am really sure that a lot of you will be of interest. We know what's going on, especially in our Jamaica land we love with our teachers, ladies and gentlemen. The teachers right now are in a militant mood. Most of us um, are not satisfied with what's happening in a recent time. But, you know, as we are here, we know that right now in Jamaica, a lot of things are going on. Girls and Boys Championship. Oh my God, the second day. It is education anyway, it's sports, but you understand. So I can just imagine those persons who will be listening in to the Saudichress show, watching, and also having the other eye on the TV, trying to figure out who will take this year's championship. And I do understand. But of course, if you are the first time viewers, I really appreciate your presence. And also, I appreciate those of you who are always here with me because, this is the Saudichress show. And let me just introduce, of course, to the newcomers. This is where we bring you sports, education, and entertainment. On Mondays and Fridays, we actually gear towards sports and entertainment. But on Wednesday, people, we look on educational content. For the past few Wednesdays, we have been zooming on and the teachers and the government, or let's say the government along with the public sector, where there's a realignment in the public sector wages across the length of breadth of Jamaica, whether it be teachers, whichever sector, the nurses, the police, the soldiers, the doctors, the firemen, all of us who are in the public sector. This is where the concern is. But of course, people, life goes on, and whatever it is, there are many concerns, and we have to deal with them one and one. And logically, it's a logical thing that we don't look at this thing as a personal gain or personal loss. We have to look at it collectively, people, because what's happening now, I must say to you that there are teachers who are comfortable and some are uncomfortable. So guess what? Where do we strike the balance? Is it that we have to look at it as a general thing, or who those who are comfortable remain silent, and those who are uncomfortable, of course, will make the noise? And of course, it would have been joyful noise. So people, as soon as you comes in, we know that it's very nice when you can sit back, watch or listen to content that suits you or educate or inform you. But it's very good that you hit the like button as well. I must say to you that if this is your first time, I'm expecting you to participate in the show. Whether you want to call the Saudichress show, in a while the numbers will be displayed. But either you want to call the Saudichress show or you just want to type in the chat. But for you to participate, type in the chat and so on, you need to subscribe. Again, no problem. I'll be happy for your support. And this support, of course, will help the Saudichress show. People, again, too, even if you don't have much to say, at least good evening to the show. I'd love to acknowledge all of you, every single one who comes in, whether you want to participate, yes or no. But let me know. Let me know that you are here. And so this is an interactive TV. It's not so much mainstream where you just watch and can't. We have to participate. All right. And we want to hear your views. We want you to make your suggestions, especially on these topics of concern. All right. So right now, the guest we should have three guests here tonight. Not all three will be on set at the same time, but more so, most of the time, we'll have two. Unfortunately, right now, they are not here yet. I'm still waiting. I'm in conversation, but as I said before, there are some persons who get caught in their television sets just to watch their favorite school or their what did I say, or their bar school participating in the Issa Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Championship. So again, if you're just joining, good evening, good night, good morning, wherever you are, right around the world. and I must say thank you very much for joining us. So, as we said that you could participate by calling the Saudichress show via WhatsApp. The number is 876 501 6625. Again, 876 501 6625. That's the number for you to participate by calling the WhatsApp numbers. All right. So yes, we have our first person. Good evening or good night. Good evening from Kingston, Jamaica. I am sorry, but I am going to just listen. All right. That is Gwyneth Clark. Thank you very much. That's not a problem. That's not a problem. I like to acknowledge the persons here. So thank you very much for joining. And that name has not been a popular name for me. So this may be your first time. Again, I want to say thank you for joining. Thank you for being a part of the Saudichress show. All right. So as I said, I'll repeat for the those who just come in again. And if you could look at the lower end of the screen, where you see the WhatsApp call, the number 876 501 6625. So that's where it's concerned. Let me take the time out as well, since we are early, to say, thank you and big up to our sponsors. PIBA, the Pasadena Ballers Association, Toad and Nose Heating and Cooling System, Toti, which is Taste of the Island restaurant out of St. Petersburg. Dallas Fine Cut Barbering coming out of California. Juki's Shipping rather, from Bronx, New York. Solid Rock Black Factory out of Maypen. Basil, Mesa, and a number of other sponsors. I want to say thank you very much for your continued support for the Saudichress show over the past couple of months. All right, so these are our sponsors. And people, if you want to be a part of the Saudichress show, I must say this to you. In very short order, with your help and support, we need to grow. And so as soon as we reach our stage where we can have persons joining to, be a part of the family, a separate and apart from just joining the show, but to join to be special members of the Saudi Crest show. We'll have that. And so we need a few more subscription. Right now we are about 200 and something away from the 1,000 subscribers. That's our landmark. And also for us to get there, we need a few, maybe less than 200 watch hours so we can move to that. All right. Again, so Ganesh Clark, this is my first time. Thank you for understanding and for welcoming me. You are most welcome, and I am sure that you will not be the only person coming in for the very first time. All right, so never mind. We welcome you, the entire Saudichress family. Welcome you on that. All right. Um, so people, as we wait on our guests, we just want to take a few of the highlights, so to speak, which I believe we got to look into to this conversation. But I'm sure that teachers are here, and if you want really to for us to take a look at the salary issues that the teachers are facing in Jamaica, retroactive payments and new salary rates, all of that. All right. So Angela Edwards, good night. Good night, good night, good night. How are you? Welcome to the show. All right, so these are some things that we want to look at. We really want to take a look at the retroactive payments and the new salary rates. Based on the concerns, though, you might find that the salary rates for some persons, some classes of teacher, may not be paid this month. Again, that's some level of confusion. I want to help you to help me. I want to hear your views. I need you to also tell me what's happening. All right. So, again, I want to continue this. Now, people, one of the things is that the realignment of the public sector wage, that's where the entire negotiation has started some time ago, and what we have seen or what's happening is that personally Personally, I believe when they talk about the realignment, it would have actually been where public sector workers right across the board would have been paid the same salary based on their qualification or their status in their respective sectors. However, based on my assumption and what I am seeing now, I don't want even to say research, because I have nowhere where the research is concerned. But what I am seeing or what I am hearing, it is not so. It more looks like each sector will have their own realignment. And I stand for correction, people, but I can prove my point to you. I can prove my point to you more so from the educational sector. All right? Angela again. Fine, thanks. Second time here, blessing. Thank you, Angela. Continue to join the Saudichress show. All right? So I must say that we will, of course. So we have with us right now, um, yes, one of our guests is here. Uh, Mr. Sanders, can you hear me? I realize that you're muted, sir. Your video is not on and you're also muted. So you we're here to welcome you. So let me know when just unmute your mic and also open your camera. So until he sort out himself, yes. Ivorine, good night. My first time here. Thank you very much, Ivorine. Make sure you play your part. Thank you very much for joining us for the Saudichress show. And I hope that you will have a fulfilled night. All right. You will get your issues, your questions, your suggestions. We will get right into that. And I hope that you will be able to get all that you need. People, I promise. And I must say to you that there is a fan of the Saudi Crest show who had said to me last week, you need to make this show be the voice of the teachers in Jamaica. I am not sure I am really competent right now to do that. I think I have persons who can assist. And I'm not running from that. But right now, if that's what you suggest, I will not turn my back. I will try my very best to ensure that I can use this platform as the voice of the teachers. We are all teachers. And for those of you who have not, I'm sure that you have family members, close family members, alliances who are teachers. All right? So, again, thank you very, very much. People, I don't want to go any further alone. I was just on the fact that I will get back to that point that I made about the realignment. But here with us, we have Mr. O'Keefe Sanders, JTA elect contender a few years ago. Welcome, Mr. Sanders, to the Saudi.
Yeah, man. How you doing? How you doing, Mr.
I tell you,
Which
people, yes, boss. Hey, let me tell you, man, good to have you here. Good to have you. And I'm sure that there's a lot of persons are expected. They're looking forward to hearing from you tonight. I am sure the feedback was fine. And with that, I must say, sir, welcome. People, let me share. I have known Mr. Sanders for a very long time. A matter of fact, we were schoolmates. But you know what is the unfortunate thing? We have not been really be close to each other in terms of seeing and talking a lot. So we have grown, both of us have grown from where we are coming from. And it's a pleasure to have him here. But as customer, Mr. Sanders, on the Saudichress show, I would really love to introduce you, sir. But there are so many things to talk about, Mr. Sanders. I want to do it in short, and I don't want to leave out anything at all. So I'll ask you to share with us just a short profile of who O'Keefe Sanders is.
okay. Well, I am O'Keefe Saunders. I ran last year as one of the presidential candidate in the for the Jamaica Teachers Association. I was the second runner-up. I came second in the race. I'm a past student of the Edwin Hallin High School, right? I went to GC Foster College of Physical Education and Sports. I am a teacher at the Donald Quarry High School, Social Studies and History. If you're wondering, say, a PE, a man who do PE teaching social studies and history, but for the past 15 years now,
Mhm.
I've been doing social studies and history.
No, you can imagine. People, this man, if things if things had gone his way, he probably will be the person speaking on our behalf as it relates to the, what would you say now, the negotiator, the mouthpiece of the teachers, especially where the government is concerned. And for some reason, he was not successful in that race. But I'm sure, sir, do you still have an intention to go down that route?
Yes, 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 yes. They'll have an intention to represent the teachers of Jamaica because the teachers of Jamaica need true representation. And that's what they lack of in the JTA, true representation.
That doesn't sound good at all, sir. That you would have been what would I say now, stalwart for you to reach that stage that you put yourself up, or the delegates would have nominated you. I'm not too sure how that works. But are you saying to me that those who are elected are not true to their responsibilities?
No, because this president that we have now, Mrs. Lasagna Harrison,
Hmm.
yes, she's someone who have the heart for the teachers. But Mrs. Lasagna Harris is not getting the support from the secretariat of the Jamaica Teachers Association. That's where the problem lies.
But let me ask you. I wanted to ask this question a while now. The position of the secretariat in the JTA, are those persons have more say? Do they have more power in the JTA than that half of the president?
Well, constitutionally, the president is in charge of the organization. But when it come on to general, the secretary general and the deputy, um, how I would put it now, out of protocol, yes, the president has the power, but the the secretary general and the deputy, they are the one really who have the big talk.
So that means, I mean, they have more power because the president would have served for 1 year,
One
and
year, yet
and the secretary general or the deputies serve multiple years. How do that work?
multiple years. Yes,
So is there an election for those positions?
no, they have been those members. They are not members of the JTA. They are they are employees. So as it, you know that the members own JTA.
Hmm.
So we employ them.
But sir,
Mhm,
I'm a bit confused.
mhm.
All right, you employ them. Are these positions were actually advertised for persons who have the interest to
Yes,
apply?
yes, they have been advertised. They have been advertised. They have been advertised.
Are these advertisements locally or within? Is it throughout or within the
Yeah, man,
JTA?
they advertise within the media houses.
Oh, I've never heard of it.
Yeah,
I
man.
asked the question though because we always hear of the presidential election, but
Yes.
we have never heard of all the other positions were filled. And
Oh,
also,
hmm,
what I recognize, well, I know one of the deputy and I know the secretary general. Those are past presidents of the JTA.
yes, yes. They both of them. Clayton Hall is the deputy, and Dr. Mark Nicey, who is the Gensec.
Do you have more than one deputy secretary general or just one?
You have assistant, which is the assistant is Dorian Dixon, responsible for I don't remember his portfolio, but he's a assistant um, deputy. He's the assistant gensec, and
Okay.
Dr. Chin also is an assistant gensec.
Sir, there are a number of persons in the chat now, but I must say there are two chat, and I'm gonna try to take them, people. And forgive me if I missed out yours. But we have Angela Edwards. Well, I have recognized a few before you came in, sir. But Angela Edwards, the power of the secretariat should be limited. Fire them all. They will not fire themselves, Angela, because I think they have that power. But I don't know if Mr. Sanders want to address that. But before you do, she also asked the question: advertise where? Really? So you want to take on the fact that we should fire those secretary generals, sir? Who would have that power?
Well, when those position advertised and people applied for them, I know that the president is a part of the person who helps to fill the vacancy. Yes, the president is a part of it.
All right, is a part of it. But can you definitely say to us, definitely, that for you to be the secretary general or one of the deputy, one of the basic requirements would have been a past president?
Yes, it's yes because yes it has to because for the since the organization started, all the secretary generals are past presidents
You know,
because when I just started the profession in 1995, it was Dr. Rudolph Cameron, and then after Dr. Rudolph Cameron retired, Baron Farquharson was a former president, and then we have Dr. Mark Niceno.
but you see, that's the whole thing I'm talking about. Those position persons had those posts for a very, very long time. I
Yes,
guess until retirement.
yes, yes.
I'm gonna get back to that, sir, because if that is so, and we are seeing so much indifference. People have different views on how the JTA has been running or handling the affairs of the teachers. We need to look forward to that. But let me dive down in a little bit of your actually business, sir. You have run for the president-elect last year
Last year, yeah.
as a classroom teacher, and if I stand for correction, but I don't remember if there's any classroom teacher has ever been the president of the JTA.
Um, yes, yes. Royal Reed, Royal Reed was the last classroom teacher.
He
Was
was a
it?
classroom teacher when he won.
Yes, yes, yes. Royal Reed was a classroom teacher. Yes, he was the
Interesting.
last one that I really know about.
Okay, people, I didn't know about that. I thought he was a principal then. But really, sir, based on the history of the JTA elections and the president, what would have given you that confidence that you probably could have, go on to win that election as a classroom teacher?
Okay, well, why I really take up that challenge is because I've been in this profession as a teacher from September of 1995, and being a member of the JTA from that time is only principals I see representing being president of the JTA. So I said, no, something must be wrong because as an organization where majority of the members
Mhm.
are classroom teachers, I said teachers are not getting the representation that they really are supposed to get. So I said, no, I am going to challenge. I'm going to take up that because when we look at the well-being of the teachers, nobody fighting for the teachers of Jamaica, right? These principals, when they go there, um, I know you are also a principal, But most principal, when they go to the meetings with Ministry of Education, they don't back the teachers. Very few principal defend teachers. Anything that the Ministry of Education say we're coming with and we're going to implement it, the principal, they just grab it and they bring it to the teachers. So I said, no, we need somebody who is in the classroom, as the Jamaican term said, who feels it, knows it, to represent the teachers of Jamaica. And that's what the teachers of Jamaica need, true representation.
You have made a statement that I've heard it time and time again. And you may mention that I'm a principal. I will not debate on that part because where I sit now, I'm sitting, yes, if you want to look at it, that yes, as a principal, but I'm a teacher first. And one of the things that I have concerned, I've never seen a principal in Jamaica who have not been a classroom teacher.
Yes, that is true.
And it's sometimes to me strange that we have this belief that the teachers are the principals who were classroom teachers have somehow just turned their back on the classroom itself to be an administrator and has not defended the teachers. But of course, I've heard it, and we can testify that there are some cases, no doubt, there are some cases where the principals themselves are the principal, and whatever they say or whatever they do, that's the case. But you move on now, for example, to the JT, where you're representing not just principals, you're representing teachers.
But when the thing is, yes, all principal used to be regular classroom teachers before even being promoted to a middle manager position. But when these principal reach the position, they don't remember where they are coming from. And that is what mashing up the educational system. Most of the principal, they just start to tear teachers apart. I remember, let me give you a scenario. I remember I used to be at a school and the principal, she used to run away herself when they were studying part-time to go to the
Mhm.
university and to upgrade to get their bachelor.
Yes.
Now, when she become principal, now she start to fight against it. And one of the teachers said, "But you used to do the same thing too." So the point is, when people get into the position, they just don't remember where they are coming from, and that is the problem with principals. That is the problem with 95% of the principals.
What a strong talk, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you, because, sir, I'm not just the only principal who is on the set.
Mhm.
And sure, you'll have more classroom teachers than principals. But people, as I say, you are there. Please hit the like button while we converse in these settings. But Sir Sanders, the thing
Mhm.
I'm saying, many would have said that if I give Mr. Sanders my vote as a classroom teacher, he's talking now. But as soon as he reach up to the top, then he will turn his back on it. What can you say to convince the teachers now that you won't be one of such leader?
Well, you see, as a youth growing up, position is not something that allowed to empowered me and no, not empowered, overcome me. You understand?
Mhm.
I know that if you're in a managerial position, you have to get the job done, right? Being a principal, because I am an aspired principal who I've been to NCL, right?
Yes.
Applied for job, not been successful, right? Yes, I want my job to be done. My academics, discipline, and all of these things, I'm going to work hard on it because I believe in a school. As long as a school to grow, the discipline and the academics in school, that you have to have that intact for any school to grow. But you have to respect people, treat people with respect. That's what I'm saying. Um, Some people when they get they don't remember said I used to do this and I used to because none of us are perfect. I used to delay with my lesson plan sometime. I'm not your person with 100, but when you get in the position, you're going to write memo to give the teachers to say, no, lesson plan and this and that and that and that. No.
But hold on. Sorry to cut you.
Mhm.
But that's a point that I believe really and truly. There's no give and take with that situation.
I know.
And I do understand where you're taking from because I live and I have worked in both situations. The fact of the matter, though, when it comes on to the job, there are the roles and the responsibilities.
Yes.
And it is expected, regardless of who you are, that those roles and responsibilities be carried out
Be
and
carried out.
carried out
Yes, but I am saying,
successfully. So,
yes.
in the point that I used to late with lesser plan, that doesn't mean because I used to late, I should allow you
Yeah,
to be late
but
as well.
remember, yes, but again, remember,
Hmm.
let us go biblical with the Bible. The Apostle Paul said in Corinthians, you are telling a person not to steal. Do you steal? You're telling a person not to commit fornication or adultery. Do you do it? So when you were up there as an ordinary teacher, you were not 100%. When you get there, why you want to ring off people? Know what you have to do. And I said the job must be done, The job must be done, but take it at a better approach. When you take it at a better approach, you get it easier than when you think that you're a bull bucker and dopey conqueror.
That's a good one to put it. The approach. That is where I believe the difference is. The
The
approach.
approach, the
And
approach.
and every leader have their own style, or every system have their own style. The fact that you use that word, I will not counteract what you said about Paul. Because just for argument's sake, I am not so much of the Bible perspective, which I could call the scriptures and so on. But the same Bible would say, you have to do what you have to do, sir. And of course, there's a saying that says that do what I say, but not as I do.
Yes. And I
So
don't, you're right. I don't believe in that concept. You
the
have to,
past, the past is the past, and we really try to make it better or make everything better. But as you said, I think the approach is where it is concerned. So you're saying to me, I cut you in your speech, but I want you to tell Jamaica as a classroom teacher, let us know what you do to convince me and others that when you reach the top as a principal or as the JTA president, you won't forget where you are coming from.
okay. Well, as a classroom teacher now, I I'm a social study teacher. I've spent a lot of time with students, right? When they
Mhm.
come on to I do CSEC plus law school. It's on a Sundays, 4 o'clock every Sunday. I'm online with my CSEC students. Spend a lot of time with them. I have to give them some good cussing sometime too because sometimes when them a delay with me and such. I show respect to my fellow colleagues. Treat them with respect, right? So they know the type of person I am that I don't have a hypocritical side with me. If you're wrong for me because some people come to me as a JT, I'm the JTA rep and they have problem with the principal. I said, explain and tell me what. And them tell me, I said, you're wrong. I said, you are wrong. And the man is not wrong. And I just go around and tell him, say, go straight to the principal and say, let me and you go up to the principal and just accept you're wrong and such. We have to learn to respect each other, right? Um, when it comes on to the well-being of teachers, that is something that I really look out for the well-being of teachers because um, teachers' well-being have been taken care of, none at all. Neither by principal or not even the JTA, who is our union. Don't take any the care of the well-being of our teachers. right? I believe as a classroom teacher, the well-being of the teachers must be taken care of, right? Um, I am not a carbon copy person. This is the Sanders that you know from boy days. We come up, I was a little ahead of you, right?
Mhm.
The same Sanders, maybe don't give the amount of trouble that I used to do
Oh,
when I was a boy,
I was just about to say, you sure is the same Sanders?
right? Right, maybe not the same amount of trouble, but it's, I'm a people person. And you can come to my school or anywhere, anybody know me, and tell that I am a people person. I look out for people. I see to that people well-being is taken care of. I am a fair person who believe in justice, right? So if I am being elected president of the JTA, or being a principal, the same person I will be. As I said, the government work must have to be done, right? But your approach to it, and that is what some most administrator, I would say, even my principal, sometimes I'll just go into my office and me and talk for even an hour to say your approach to this is wrong. You can't do this and you can't do that. Yes, you're the principal, you want the school to grow, but because of how you approach it, you're not going anywhere with the teachers. So everybody know who I am and that I am a people person and I look towards the well-being of the teachers of Jamaica.
Ivarine said, yes, the approach makes a difference. I can tell you that. But, sir, you had that conversation or you have regular conversations with your principal.
Yes,
When you look
regular.
to your principal and you say that approach is wrong, how did he respond?
All right. Sometimes he can be a very stubborn and stiff-headed person. Very stubborn and stiff-headed person.
Wow,
And sometimes I have to
interesting.
tell him strong, strong, strong. Even say, sir, all time people say, looking at your crystal ball and see where you're going wrong. But sometimes he listen to what sometimes he listen to me. Because for example, we're a shift school.
Mhm.
We have we used to rotate the shift where we have junior shift and senior shift. Now when the juniors are on the morning, everything okay, they behave themselves. But when we rotate now and put the seniors on the morning and the juniors on the afternoon, we have chaos at school.
My God.
And yeah man, chaos, fight and teach when they reach 3 o'clock after break, they
Mhm.
disrupt the school teachers who they, sometimes you think it's a party shop. So I have to go. I said to him, say, sir, let us look at the grades of the students on the morning when they are on the morning and look at their grades on the afternoon. So we see the difference. I said, there are little girls who are just 12 and 13, 14. School finish at 5:15. Sometimes they don't reach home till at 8 o'clock. I said the seniors are a little more mature, they can control themselves a little better. So I said, sir, I am I want you, it's a tough decision, but keep the juniors on the morning. And he mind to it. We go to the staff and said, it is Mr. Saunders' idea. So people get at me now.
Because you are the principal of friend.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I said, it's not any friend thing. It's just reality. So sometimes he listens and sometimes he doesn't.
And that's the nature of organizations. People, it sometimes sounds a way when, we hit out on the leadership of a school or an organization. But the fact is, as a leader, I don't mind it. And I must say to you, not I'm not boasting, but throughout my career, I have not had um, those sort of conflict with the persons do I serve. You
And
know,
that is very good.
I am happy for that. And so persons who work with me throughout would have learned the way how I interact with other people. And so that is maybe why I get through easier than some persons. Not saying it is always good enough. Not saying that, because let me tell you this, and I always said this, not every smile is a smile.
Yes, yes.
And it goes right across the board, people, even within family. That's how it is. But
Yeah, all time people say not every kin teeter kin teeter.
exactly. And we have to acknowledge that, sir. Now, Mr. Sanders,
Hmm.
we have just not even sure. Maybe have we concluded the negotiation with the government of Jamaica, by the way?
Well, so far it have been signed off. It have been signed off because you know the saga with the president when she saw really what teachers, oh teachers have been. She walk away and leave it.
Before you go there, sir, because we will get there.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
But I have heard different views or different scenarios, different situations that signing that was done last time, that would have given the government the okay to go ahead with that. It would have been a sign off of understanding in an effort so that the teachers could have gotten their retroactive money,
Hmm.
which the government, the Ministry of Finance, would have stated publicly that if this is not done so by X time, then it would have been another year before those monies could have been paid.
Yes, and that's bullying. That's bullying
So
too.
that was a bullying topic.
Yes, yes, yes.
But I'm saying, so is it that the entire thing is signed off? Because I'm also hearing no that the JTA has an intention to go back to the bargaining table with the government.
No, no,
Is that
no,
so?
no, nothing like that. They have signed off for a 3 years contract. So 2022 to 23, that's a retroactive that they are paying now. The 11-month retroactive that they are paying now. Come this month in April, we're going to get another increase for 2023, 24.
Yes.
So we're getting another increase. Come next year, 2024, April 1st, the mountain coming again, we're going to get another increase at the final one for the contract. So the who's to ever been the president at that time of JTA will go back into a negotiation with the government. So it's a 3 years contract. So this one that sign off, that's it. So 2022, 23, that's what we are being paid for now.
That's a retroactive amount.
Yes. And let me tell you something. You know that the new compensation package started March 2022, 1st of
Or the
April
1st of April.
2022, 1st of
Yes.
April, right? So remember, we get the the STA, the special teach allowance,
Hmm.
and the software book. You know that all of those monies have been deducted back from our retroactive. Did you know that?
I am not too sure.
Yes. So from for example, a preacher and teacher did that they sent her stuff to me. She had only gotten the book and software allowance, which is 164,000 for the month for the year.
Mhm.
So when she says what is this minus for, I have to tell her that they deducted back the money that you're paid for from 2022 March, April to now.
Is that right?
That can't be. We didn't get into a deal. That can't be.
But
No,
that's where I believe the JTA went wrong.
that is it. Who are
Because
negotiating for us? They are
this is
not
what
doing
I'm
the right job.
this is
We
what
don't have
I'm
any
asking.
unity.
And sir, I don't think this is a matter of unity or disunity. And I'm gonna say this frankly. Based on that argument, where if that is so, the JTA, in my view, couldn't have known that for one, they were just not equipped to go through those levels of negotiation. One. Or two, they were just moving too fast.
That is it. They were moving too far because what happened? What happened? You know, the president. She's a lady that is very keen because I've studied with her. We both of us have done NSEL together.
Mhm.
So I know that I know the type of person she is, right? She's a lady. She's very keen. She looks at what is written and all of these things. But the problem is, Lasagna is not getting the support from her team. You understand? She's not getting support. Remember, no, you have a chairman of the salary committee. He was Paul Adams. He resigned before the negotiation finished. Then after the chairman now, I think the general council select members to be a part of the salary committee. Now all when you with the salary committee at the PE, which is the president elect Leighton Johnson,
Mhm.
the immediate past president, which is Winston Smith, Dr. Gart Anderson, Dr. Gart Anderson, Paul Adams, and a few more people. They're a part of the salary committee. And out of that salary committee, less than 5% in support with the president. And that's where it goes wrong.
Who selected that committee?
The president has she selected, just like how the prime minister of a cabinet. So she select the chairman of the committee, and then general council vote for who they want to sit on that committee.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are some situations in the JTA that many of us, including myself, did not have an idea of how it works. But we are here with O'Keefe Sanders, who would have been very close to them. The fact that he was a president elect contender just over a year ago, he would have known because he would have actually put himself in positions to learn or to manage the aspect of the JTA. But I put this to him, though, sir, people. You are saying to me that Mrs. Lasagna Harris, president, had less than 5% support of that salary committee.
Yes.
Am I to understand that those members, those 95%, or that 95%, are actually working with the government instead of with the JT and the teachers?
That is a problem. That's where it lies because they're saying that she needs to convince the teachers to accept the offer. It's just like with the 4%. When we went into a meeting, we have to have a special delegate meeting.
Mhm.
And the president at that time was Winston Smith, and Garth Henderson was the chair. He was a chair at that time. And they convinced, one vexed with me, vexed with me. But they convinced the members, the delegates, to say, let us support, let us vote for it, because the government said that life is going to be better with the new public sector reform, compensation reform, right? It was a Zoom meeting, and I put up my hand, and they called upon me. I said, remember, we have been in a pandemic for 2 years.
Mhm.
Our homes were classroom. The internet, we have to pay for our own internet, our light bill, everything. And now we must accept 4% and $40,000 as a one-off payment. I said, that is ridiculous. The, the president just said, point taken. And that's it. Speed. At the time, speed was in the meeting. And as a past president, they did not call upon Speed. Never call on him. Gabriel, who was the immediate past president raised his hand and he was telling the members to say, be careful of what you're doing. Sir, you know what they did? Them plug him out. The immediate past president, they plug him out. So that is hypocrisy that we have. And that's why teachers are so disgusted and annoying of the JTA. Too much hypocrisy. And I know when they hear, when they'll see this, I am not their favorite.
But if you're not the favorite, how are you going to reach to the top, sir?
Well, if not, that is it. The teachers are the one who select who they want to be president of their organization. I'm going to tell you something.
People, what you thought you're right there, Sir Sanders. And I hope I don't cut you in a very important one.
No man, no man.
But I just want to say that Mr. Speed, as you called his name, he's here, he's backstage. So, Mr. Speed, welcome. I want you to give me the indication when you're ready to come on, sir. Just let me know when you're ready. Just give me that indication and I will get you in. But continue with that aspect of your your speech, Mr. Sanders.
Okay. Now, I came second last year in the race.
Mhm.
Teachers, a lot of teachers all over the island asked me to say, go back again as a classroom teacher because we need a classroom teacher to represent us. Um, Constitutionally, the nomination opened in November and it closed the 31st of January. Now I saw the letter came in for opening of nomination. I said,
Mhm.
okay. My DA nominated me the 23rd of January. I did not know that the GenSec changed the nomination date from the 31st to the 18th of January. I did not know that because I never read any letter because it was in my head that it is the 31st. I called the GenSec and I said to him that I did not know that the DM said yes, it had been circulated and such. The GenSec is telling me that is only one person have been nominated for for the Democratic Union with over 23,000. Um, I said to him, I said, but sir, even if one, since you change it, and it's only one candidate nominate, I think you should open it back to say, members, we only have one candidate. So we're going to run it for another week, and anybody's interested, you can come forward. If no one come forward, that is it. He said that I should still bring in my nomination, drop it off, leave it downstairs with the receptionist, say that he will get back to me with a meeting. He will get back to me. Up to today, I don't hear a word from the Jensen. I remember I texted him and said, what is it? He said he's going to write me and tell and professionally and say something. Up to today, one candidate, which is Mark Smith, the principal of Monroe College, is the only person that been nominated. So this year we will not have an
An election.
election in a democratic union.
So, with that point, I must take on the senior man on the show. I must. I must. And so, ladies and gentlemen, help me to welcome one of the most favorite person, the most favorite guest on the Saudichress show. I talking former president, Mr. Owen Speed, as he's there, along with one of his son. I could say a man who have
Like
learned
to
so much
say,
from Sir Speed. Welcome to the show, Mr. Speed.
Blessings, blessings, blessings and honor.
I tell you this.
Mr. Saunders, big
Yeah,
up
man.
yourself.
Yes, man.
Good evening, good evening. Kevin,
Yes,
how
sir.
you doing?
Not bad at all, man. Happy to have you here once again. It seems like you'll always have to be here every month or every other month, you know. But sir,
I don't,
let me just take a
I,
few chat because there's something that Mr. Sanders mentioned a while ago, and I must you get you into this frame of mind, into that argument before we go.
mm,
So, Angela, there is some anomaly, which I would believe anomalies, yes, with senior teacher post that has to be sorted out. That again we'll have to look into very soon. Teddy Blake, I do believe that Paul Adams was giving the support to Mrs. Harrison, but you know Paul was getting a fight too. Oh my God. Angela, I was there as a delegate. Angela, which direction? What did you vote for, Angela? Van Bar? True, I was in that meeting as a delegate too. What did you vote for? Mr. Speed, I'm getting to understand that for the next election or for the next president, there will not be an election because only one candidate
Well,
under
good evening, everybody. The people who are listening in as well. I don't know. It seems like now it's April, almost April. So by the end of this week, you're touching into April. Usually by the end of February,
Mhm.
March, thereabouts, early March, they would have settled off on who they have as candidates. Um, Clearly, this year it will be just one candidate. Unfortunately, I think when you have an association as big as this, you would want to have, more. You would want to have a race. You would want to have an election. Um, Not to say that I don't think that the candidate who is there is a good candidate, but you would want to have an election so that the many issues, the many issues that are there that sometimes are being swept under the carpet would come to the fore on a platform, on a campaign platform. Because when you have those things now ventilated, you put the association in a better position to whomever the president may become to be able to carry those concerns
Mhm.
forward, and in a certain way they would be a little bit more informed too, because at this time the gentleman who is going to be president elect come June, and I think by the third week of June they will determine that he is now the president elect designate, and then president elect after.
Right.
That gentleman, president elect, when it comes to conference now, I'm saying that person doesn't have the opportunity now to go out and meet the teachers in the schools because it's not necessary, right? So you probably rob him. He's an experienced person still, but you're probably robbing him of that opportunity to go there into the field and with somebody else with him campaigning against him, that kind of thing, or alongside him, I want to say, not against, but alongside him, because all the people who campaign in a JTA president-elect election, all of those persons have to be campaigning almost along the same line. So they are kind of unearthing the issues, bringing them to life, bringing them to the fore, and the media would catch on to some of those. So it's a lost opportunity. Again, I'm saying that I don't have anything to say against the gentleman because I think he's a good candidate too. Um, but like the other people, they are going to feel like they would be good candidates as well.
Mr. Speed, this seems to be a recurrent decimal. If there's a rush, yes, if there's a rush to go ahead with one candidate, in the fact that I believe I can't see, I see where the government put off election. So why in your view, sir, why could this process be delayed?
I cannot explain it because I'm not in the midst of the things that are happening. What I am aware of is that if there is a date that was given before for the elections, for the nomination of candidates, if there's a date that was given before, so I'm hearing that a date was given before, that is the 31st or something like that, and
Mhm.
then it was changed after that. I think that it would be most appropriate for them to contact especially somebody who had run before in the election, to contact that person not just by email or whatever, but also by phone, to speak with that person. I think courtesy would dictate that. And I think that if a date is going to be changed, then maybe the council or the central executive should have known about that change, ratify that change, and make sure that they circulate the information out there enough so that there will be no guessing about when the closing time would be.
You know, I believe it is the same rush, and maybe it is the same set of people who was rushing the signing of this very same issues that we have just been through. Because I'm saying this to say I can't see why that nomination day couldn't have been pushed that are delayed for a day, 24 hours, if that is the case. And we are looking at a democratic system. So this
I
goes to show, sir, it seems as if um, I don't want it to look away like I'm batting or I'm voting for Mr. Sanders here. But it seems
no,
as if, sir, they never wanted you in that race at all.
It seems so.
But
It seems
your
or,
so.
delegate,
or maybe they didn't want me in the race.
did you apply, sir?
No, I'm just kidding.
Or it's
Just
because
joking.
Sanders is one of your sons?
Well, it's a Sanders. I don't know. But the truth, though, and to be more serious about it, the fact is, and as I said it before, if if there's going to be if you have a date on your calendar
Hmm.
and that date is going to be changed, I don't think one man should be changing that date. In fact, so the SecGen, I don't think it is right for one person if that is how it went, because I don't know. I'm just talking off what I'm hearing here. So they can forgive me if I'm getting it wrong. But I'm just saying that if that is the case, then something seems to be wrong, because the SecGen alone should not be allowed to change anything on the calendar if it was published before that the date is the 31st, the last day in the month, and then you bring it forward. I don't think that should be brought forward by one person. And it seems like there is a kind of a trend developing where the SecGen can just believe that he can just change things midstream. For instance, when the strike was called for 2 days, suddenly I just saw a letter that was floating out there. I am wondering if it is authentic. But suddenly, after the first day of the strike, I saw a letter floating out there from the desk of the SecGen to say that the teacher should go back to school the following day. And that's just 2 days of strike. I mean, who would take you seriously if you call a 2 day strike and then after one day you abort it? And then the most critical point is, how is it that the delegates could have voted to have 2 days of strike? And then that was changed by one person who is not even in the political arm of the JTA. He's a paid member. The SecGen is a paid member. He's a paid worker, not a paid member, because he's not a member. He doesn't have a vote.
I'm gonna say this, and I took it with Mr. Sanders. Listening to both of you now, and you are coming from the same stream, based on explaining those members. So you see the problem what that I'm seeing now for the Secretary General and deputies seems like they must be a past president. They were members of the JTA. And for you know, for that position to host them as a member, that is where the big thing is. They want to show their power. And sir, my
And
view, based on what I'm hearing and seeing, it seems like the SecGen have more power than the president of the JTA.
it would seem I don't know
Mr.
because the
Speed, I want you to
trend.
talk the things them as usual, you know. Me
No,
no want
no,
you
no, no.
crowd the
But
thing, you know.
the trend is definitely there. That's what I'm saying. Because even with the whole thing of the meeting, the last meeting that they went to accept the delegates meeting,
Hmm.
I get to understand that, and I hope I am wrong, but I'm almost sure I'm not wrong. That the delegates voted not to have any more Zoom meeting
Yes, that is
be-
correct. Yeah,
to accept or reject.
yeah, we vote
And
yes, yes.
yes, and if the delegates voted, how can it be that the SecGen just sent out a circular to say, listen, come Sunday, we are going to have a Zoom meeting. And with 800 plus people on a Zoom platform, there is absolutely no way that you can be 100% sure that all of those people are delegates actually.
And it
Or maybe even just registered members. It's difficult because and then when you think of the situation where people in Trelawney, I took a trek out to Trelawney, and when I reached down by Troy High School, I couldn't make a call out. I couldn't receive a call because the internet. No, I'm telling you, these are serious matters to not to be laughing about. Mr. Witty. It's a serious matter
I have to
because
laugh, you know.
because because guess what? When you do
Mm.
a Zoom meeting, the people down in Wait a Bit and Troy and Warsaw and Wire
Oh my
Fence
God.
uh, in Trelawney, I travel those places. I know them. When I am there, I cannot get internet connectivity. So how is it that those people would be able to participate as delegates, to participate in the discussions before you have the vote, when they cannot even get on there? So the delegates were right in saying, listen, the next time we're going to be having this, because it's a very important vote, the next time we're going to have this, the delegates were 100% correct to say, let's not have any more Zoom meeting. Let's have it face to face so that people can express themselves. You cannot unplug them. You can't stop them when they raise their hand from talking, because that is what they did, as Mr. Sanders just explained to you, that they did that to me. I raised my hand and it was there for more than an hour when they were about to accept the 4%, and they didn't allow me to speak. They didn't call on me to speak. The Ryan Simpson was the man in charge of the the um the credentials
Credential.
at the time. Yes, and he ensured that I did not get a chance to speak. I'm not upset by it because I knew that they would run into this brick wall that would have come when this compensation review is over. I knew that from that time. I knew that all the troubles that you see them experiencing now, I could have told them, and in fact, I told them, I warned them not to accept that 4% contingent on the compensation review, because there's nothing to gain from the compensation review. And we have seen the bitter end of the stick that the senior teachers have gotten.
Sir,
Nothing, nothing.
Mr. Sanders,
Hmm.
you are a delegate, right?
Yes, I am.
And you voted to first no more Zoom meeting.
Yes, sir.
You voted against or you reject the compensation agreement.
Yes. I rejected it.
You're a senior teacher, right?
Not again.
Not again.
No.
A delegate and a classroom teacher. Are you
Mm-mm.
satisfied with what you have received? If you have
Can't.
received, you're
No,
satisfied now.
no, you can't because it's like all time people say like it's a pittance.
Um,
Because what fried the teachers, and I said to them that be careful. When the deputy judge said, come on and said, okay, if you're on bond 4 at point 4 and such, your retractive will be 375, 300 and that, 300 and that. These
Right.
are some of the things that frighten the teachers. I said to them, say, "Colleague, be careful. Because when that little retroactive finish and you get your regular salary, you're gone back to square one. Because let me tell you, I get mine. And I've been to Price Mart Saturday, and I don't $85,000.
You get it
I mean,
early, you get
house,
your pay early, them free there, you.
yes,
Saturday. Oh.
the Bursa. What happened is that I work at a Bursa Pay school, and
Hmm.
we have as a principal, you know about the subvention fund, right? So we have some money there, so the Bursa use it up and pay us. But she spent, I must commend her. She spent the whole weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and by Tuesday, Wednesday, our pay was in the bank, and we commend her for it. But the
No.
point I'm
Mhm.
yes, the point
What?
I'm saying,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
going to
Continue.
the Price Mart and do some shopping, $85,000 out of 200 and something. Is that done?
That 200 and something is your retroactive or is include your salary?
Retroactive plus the little mag, you know, your regular take home
So
and
the question I'm asking you, I don't want to know the entire
mhm.
figure. That 200 and something, is that the retroactive amount or it inclusive of your March salary?
Well, it depends on your take home,
Sir,
your net pay. Depends on your net pay.
I don't
So
want
if you have a
I,
small net pay, you carry home 200 and add. If your net pay is up there, you can carry home 300 and something.
the question I what I want to know, because let me let this thing clear, people. To date, and should I say up to the start of this show, I have not gotten one red cent for my salary.
Mm-hmm.
Not a red cent.
You're rich. They know you're rich, man.
I'm getting to that, and you might have to take on this case for me, Mr. Speed. The point I'm making, I just want to know, sir, if what was said to you, what was outlined to you, what you would have received is what you get.
No, no, no. Because they had a meeting the other day, and a Zoom meeting, and they were saying that we need to email
Outlined by who?
or
What
Clayton
was
Hall.
outlined, Mr. Kevin? What was outlined by who?
By the JTA.
Right, so Clayton Hall is a man who deals with the salary section, the salary part of it, right?
Hmm.
So what he told us that we would get, it's not nothing that what he said. So now the other meeting is saying that we must email our March pay stubs and our February pay stubs to our RO. Let them do some investigation, some 10%. I'm not a mathematician, so some 10%. If you get under 10%, something. I don't really understand. I don't pay it any mind.
So
Believe
hold
me.
on.
But
So am I to believe that those figures and that spreadsheet that Mr. Clayton Hall had shown and was explaining from, was it incorrect?
yes, it is not correct. Because some people get all $100,000, include their salary.
Yeah, because for me this is an indictment on the Ministry of Finance. Because how can you really sit down and explain to a teacher who has been teaching for 20 or 30 years, and when the salary comes along with the retroactive, it doesn't add up to 200,000? Quite a number of teachers. I did a live last night. I didn't plan to do a live. Was it last night? The night before? I
Hmm.
didn't plan to do a live, I just because of the complaints coming into me, I decided to do one. And
Yes.
teachers were on it telling me that working for all 36 years, and the money, the retroactive plus salary is less than 200,
Yes, yes,
Less
that's
than how
true.
much?
Mm?
less than 200,000. Um, I am saying, what kind of retrograde step is that the Minister of Finance is making at this time? Because and I asked the question on my page today, is it that the unions were outfoxed? Is it that they were blindfolded? Or is it that they were just operating like three blind mice, going in to sign that kind of contract, that agreement after the president left? Because if the president walked out and three other people who went there along with the president saw that this was what the senior teachers of this country who toiled, worked so hard for so many years, 20 years, 30 years, and that is all that they gave them. It shows you that not only the parents of Jamaica, some parents who are not grateful, not only the children who the teachers work so hard and teach are not grateful, but also the government minister is ungrateful too, because what that is saying, it is defying all logic. It is defying every single logic in economics. It's defying every logic, every common sense, because there is no way that you can tell me that a teacher who has been in the system for 20 odd years, 30 years, carrying home less money, and you're talking about not even half as much as some of the people who might have just worked for 4 years. So
Yes, yes,
what are you telling the younger ones coming up that they should do? Just work for 5 or so years and leave. That's what you're telling them. That's exactly what, because if you stay long, you are going to be punished for staying too long in the system. That is what the logic of this. Everything that you do has a message attached to it. So the message sent here now is that if you get more, if you go for more than 5 years or 6 years, you're in trouble. The next time you do a reclassification, and I have been always asking for reclassification. And it's something that I thought that would be worthwhile, because I know that the teachers of Jamaica, they were operating at about 35, maybe 40% of market value. In other words, what I'm saying is that a teacher with a bachelor's degree compared a teacher's salary who has a bachelor's degree compared to a teacher with a bank officer in the bank or whatever with the same level of qualification, that person in the bank might be getting twice or more over the teacher. And all I was saying to them is that reclassify in the entire economy, not within the profession that you are in. And that is what they did know. They reclassified, but it is within the profession that they are in, rather than bringing up this profession to the other professions.
Sir, I have made the point before you people came on that I believe that I had thought that the reclassification would have brought all public sector workers within the same qualification
Yes,
and job description would have gotten the pay. But what I have seen is in this sector, is in each sector,
yes,
more
which
so
makes no sense.
in education.
It makes no sense, because all you're doing is setting up people against people within the sector. You are setting up the teachers who have been working for 20, 30 years against the young ones who carried home the bulk of the money.
yes,
And so the
yes,
teachers who have the 30 years and only carry home 25, $30,000 for retroactive, compared to a teacher with 6 years who carried home 400,000 or 300,000. What are you telling the teacher with 30 years to do tomorrow morning? You are telling that teacher that must just relax and allow the young one who get the money to go over work
yes,
and make
because
sure they supervise the children well,
I was
because me I relax now.
I
Yeah,
We
must
don't
say
get
to
no
you,
money.
so
I
true.
hold
Because
a second, hold a second, hold a
I am,
second, sir. Hold a second. Just remember your thought. We have our next guest, and he's in backstage. So, just for having waiting for so long, I'm gonna take him in and we continue our discussion. But Mr. Godfrey Drummond is here with me. And remember your thoughts, I'm gonna take him. You'll come in studio now, and I have a few chats that we want to look into. So we just move forward. Alright? So welcome to Mr. Godfrey Drummond, the man down west.
Godfrey,
yeah,
I see you,
man.
Godfray.
Here
I
I
just
know,
want to say
sir.
good night. Good night to
yes,
all the
Godfrey, yeah,
Saudians.
man, go on.
Good night to all the Saudians. Saudi,
Yes,
you're in
man.
great company, man. You're in with great men. I seen my senior from college, Cat,
All right,
Cat.
boss.
And I seen one of the greatest president, and time will show that the JTA will have in oil speed. A man who little, he never faced a delivery from in a cricket still. So I'm both say my best bat.
Me hear him out there, no. Me
But
hear him,
I
and
mean,
me hear
yeah,
him
man.
call some friend's name, and me I
You
wonder.
never pass. You never fast like Dwight Mills.
No, never fast
Not,
like me.
you weren't as fast as Snake from States.
No, man, them man, they are the big bowler, man. The man, are the quick,
All
man.
right,
Those were
all right.
quickest.
You hear
But
the man
You
I
I
never
come
just
in
say
and
fast
tell
that,
them
like
man them
Patterson.
face.
I face Patrick Patterson without helmet too.
for real. Yeah, man.
Yes.
You never
Eh?
know any better that time, sir. You never know
I
I'm
any
was
like
better
the
at that
nippy.
fastest
time.
I was
bowler that
nippy.
ever, West Indies,
One thing I was good at was bowling a steady line and length. I wasn't one for the pace, but because I was over 6 feet, whenever I come with good line and length, it always ruffles some feathers.
I
Like I
want
am about to do with the JTA
I
and
want you to
the
keep
Iraq.
that line and length ready for tonight, and make sure you don't you don't lose that length,
Yeah, man. But
All right,
great,
people.
great to be in the company of some great gentlemen.
Yeah, man.
And I'm actually thrilled to be back on the show. I mean, following the issues that are going on in sports and in education, and I'm thrilled to just to share my views. And I've always said that my views does not necessarily reflect the thoughts of the Saudichress show.
Thank
So
you.
it is purely uncensored. I mean, while I don't want to call name, I'm going to throw some stones. So whoever it is that get hit and want to reply, just let them know that I am available and I am ready.
All right, sir. So I don't want to throw any stones. I want to bowl those steady line and length delivery.
Yeah,
All
but
right. So
just to say that
yes.
the rationalization of the public sector as it relates to educators is really a farce. There's no controlled measure or means of calculation. There's no improved remuneration, and there's absolutely no linearity in terms of the classification of the sector. What it does is actually to backroll the middle managers, people that are in the middle,
Mm-hmm.
and actually put you worse off, especially when you look at the poverty levels in Jamaica. I think we have made some strides, but I think this finance minister and this government wants to push us back down. And I think it's a deliberate ploy to keep people in squalors in order to maintain power. And I say that without regrets.
All right,
It's
so
a
very
real disincentive to teachers. Myself, this afternoon, I spoke to a senior teacher, very, very popular, Ian Miles. And he says to me, I still reflected 200,000 in my account. I can't access it. I don't know what it is for. Because that is about 2.7% increase on my monthly take home. So I don't know how the calculations were done. I don't know who did those calculations. I don't want to say amateurs did it. I just think those are novices who can't calculate. But as I said, I'm going to be, it's hard talk this evening, you know. The
yes,
Speedy
yes.
Warrior, you know, I know the big bad cat is there as well.
All
So
right,
I
sir.
just want to add my spin. It is a
But
farce. And
Hold,
but
hold,
Godfrey,
basic.
Sir Speed,
Godfrey.
well appointed, sir. Thank you very much, Godfrey, for that opening statement. But I really want to get through this chapter because there are so very interesting thoughts here. How can the diaspora help to influence the improvement? That's coming from RR. Should we start a digital petition? Those are things coming from RR, and he's from the diaspora. How about 1% of all remittances goes to teachers' salary? Hey, it's a can of worm that you're opening in a boss.
But that's a
35,
good can. That will work.
yes, 35 people,
But
7 likes, come on. Hello, people,
but
come on, hit the like button.
but remember, say them. But remember that them they're collecting education tax from the people, and where does that go? Because I've never heard of any project in education that they could say to me, the education tax funded this project.
You know, that's a serious point. And we will get into that because I know you have some information on that. All right. So, Tamika Riley, big up yourself, madam colleague. Yes, man, Tamika Riley, there. Really unfortunate. The system has no respect for teachers and contribution they make. That is so true. That is the bottom line. All right. Same way. All right. Amar Willis, talk truth or take truth. At Tamika, how are you? That's coming from RR. All right. How are you back from Tamika? So yes, the persons in the diaspora, they're also concerned. And we really want to get this thing straight out because there are so many misunderstandings. So many persons out there would have believed that some of us as teachers are ungrateful, are greedy. 15 or 14 billions, let me get it right, 11 point something billion dollars for teachers. That's what the Ministry of Finance, the minister, said that she has for teachers.
No.
Hold
I
on.
was listening to the budget debate. He says 12 million has been set aside to pay teachers. No, I don't round off government money,
Hold on, Sir Godfrey.
That point two, sorry, that
Yes.
0.2% represent $200 million. I don't want it to be misconstrued. Say him just use a ballpark figure. That's
No.
200 million that can be used. Just imagine how many schools can be retrofitted. How many schools are without water? Schools with latrine. The 200 million must be accounted for too, because the minister said in his presentation that 12 billion has been set.
Yes, but
to pay
and
public
Drummond, before he said 12 billion first, and then they came back and gave a sweetener. They gave $25,000 per
25,000 more.
teacher more. So you're talking about maybe 2 point something more billion. So it should be about near 14 billion
Yes.
or
that's-
so.
Yes.
But they end up only paying, and we see it in the media that it's 11.8 billion now.
Yeah, 11.8.
That's what
But
I'm saying. But
but
sir,
it's-
is that 11.8 plus the sweetener? And
Look
by
at
the way, is the sweetener part of this month's retroactive or
Of
salary?
course, it has to be. It has to be. Anybody who got some retroactive already, don't look for any more. In fact, they might just, what might just jolly well happen to, and we are here talking and we're laughing and so on, but it's a very serious matter because this Ministry of Education, they have developed a trend in telling people that they overpay them. So you could very well find some of these people who you hear getting this 400,000, 300,000, that next month they just pull it back out of the pay and say we overpaid you last month, because there is no formula that the teacher can use to calculate to know exactly how much a teacher should get. So they can easily come next month and say, listen, we overpaid you 50,000 and we have to take it back this month.
Well,
So.
Sadi, let me tell you something.
Yes.
And I want all persons who are on the platform to understand from where I'm coming. And this is not a campaign speech. I have no interest. As a matter of fact, I still have interest of becoming the president, but not with this current staff who we are paying. Because let me tell you, if you go around the length and breadth of Jamaica, teachers have lost interest in the leadership
Yes.
of the Jamaica Teachers Association. And that's a fact. Right? I have had to be doing damage control to be calling teachers and say, listen to me. Don't go down there, go rescind your membership. Don't go down there, go stop it. Don't go squeeze the deduction because the teachers as is are so broken by the decisions over the last couple of weeks. There seems to be some disconnect at the top where president not talking to IPP not talking to PE, Gen pulling out. We have seen it. I mean, the General Council group, and I mean, Sanders knows that. I saw 2 different press releases sent to the media the same day, about 25 minutes apart. One from the Gen, one from the president.
Yeah, that
correlation.
Hold on, Sir Godfrey. I'm hearing. Let me check one. Okay, apparently me have an issue. I'm hearing a muffling, but let me double check to see if it is my system.
it's a good thing you're on, Godfrey, because people hear me talk these things, they're going to say, "Oh, I'm against them."
Yes.
It is not about against. The facts are there. The facts are there, you know. One thing, you know, with modern day communication, evidences are left, trails are left. And I can tell you, I am always that person that brings empirical evidence. And I showed you from 2017, when we had that negotiation, when they said teacher handcuff, that transpired in the last show. And I am telling you again, it is bordering on distasteful what is happening now. And the fact that we have a union that is supposed to have the backs for the teachers, that sits back and apologizes for the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Education for their incompetence, their gross negligence and incompetence. It speaks volume about how the nation thinks about our teachers. No wonder don't stop mentality has taken over the airspace and taken over the minds of the youngsters, so much so that teachers are not seen as that relevant again. It is bordering, and I don't know. It is chaotic. It is chaotic, and as I said the last time, you know, the effect of education is not immediate. So you won't see it when a boy goes to school and chooses not to adhere to what is happening and the principles. You won't see the immediate effect, as is with crime or with health. But the long-term effect is going to be so devastating that, you know, might as well get the next investment at the earliest possible time. Right? I've always said, and I said it yesterday to my regional officer, that listen, who can afford to run will run. But what about those who can't?
I was singing that this evening.
Yeah, man, who can afford to run will run. So if you are thinking about, you know what I believe, and as I tell you the last time, I'm a conspiracy theory. The fact that so many of our experienced teachers have been gravitating towards overseas program, and the overseas program are coming for our experienced teachers. That is why they are fattening the entry-level teachers, you know. So they try to hike up their retroactive salaries, and another case of divide and rule. So them divide us. So when I look at one of my junior teachers now, who collect almost half a million, I mean I get 300,000 as the watch. And guess what now? I am going to be demotivated, and then I might just, they're trying to wipe out the middle management, you know, the middle tier of the education sector. And you know what happened? I said the last time? When we find that they're trying to get new persons into the education sector because they don't want to pay the teachers their work. And I have no apologies about it.
Because one of the members of the salary committee said, you know, they said to Nigel Clark that we're going to have an exodus. Nigel definitely said it's not a year and year. They can be replaced by who? The Cubans who speak Spanish.
Speed can tell you at inauguration in Trelawney, when we back up Carl Samud and we're having there, and we said the exodus is coming. He never paid attention.
Because they don't care. We even said
Because they don't value education. They don't value the effects of education and what it has done to transform this country. We're trying to reach Vision 2030. But on this trajectory, we are going to have a catastrophic collapse. And I envision it. And I am telling you that it's going to happen.
Yes, they want to keep this type of thing in Jamaica politics. You know? The boom and the ganja, as long as they can give a boom and a ganja, all is well. So people support them. You understand? So education is nothing to them. So they refuse to pay the teachers of Jamaica. They refuse to. Because Nigeria said teachers get replaced. No, you cannot pay our teachers and you're going to replace. Where are you going to get them from? You're going to go to Cuba to get the teachers who speak Spanish, but we have a language barrier. Huh? So they don't regard education.
I have a different view, though, slightly different view, Godfrey, because I think what I used to judge how intelligent and how bright people are, what I used to judge is strictly what they do. And I think sometimes we give these guys too much credit to say that they can't even think and come up with any kind of theory, because clearly they are not thinking. So I don't give them that kind of credit. There's no way you can tell me that you're wiping out the middle managers and you tell me that you are bright enough to even have any kind of theory that me could have considered conspiracy theory. Honestly, me not give them no credit. The truth is, what they have done is really dumb, because all that you're going to have, the middle managers are the people who really run schools, you know.
Yes.
The principals are out many days upon top of days. They have them at principals meetings and all over the place, you know. Is the middle managers run schools. So when you demotivate that set of people, what are you going to have? You talk about crime, stabbings and killings and all kind of things might just soon start happening because of lack of supervision in the schools. Because who is going to supervise a block when you know that you're not getting any extra pay to do that? So what they're doing is just pure out and out nonsense. And we have to learn to call it just like it is. I don't give them any credit to say they can conspire anything at all, because they're not proving to me that they are even bright enough to conspire.
Sir, gentlemen, let me just ask this question. It's a sort of retract. What is the real percentage? What is the real percentage of increase? Because I ask this question, you know, because guess what? The minister on many occasions said that no public sector workers under this realignment will be worse off. None. But on the contrary, he has never said that anybody will be better.
The percentage does not go across the board, it seems, because when you look at the retroactive, it speaks for itself. If you look at how much somebody with 5-6 years get and compare that with how much somebody, it's like you can't even work out the percentage to say, well, this is the percentage that everybody should get across the board. And to me, that doesn't make sense.
I know I joined late and I know this might have been captured, but listen, I'll explain again. It's a reclassification. By classification, it means that everybody will be placed in a certain class or a certain category. Now, a person with a master, all persons with a master's who does similar work, similar experience should have been paid similar monies. There's no real formula to suggest that this is done. Person with similar salary, person with similar qualifications, similar years of experience, has gotten a vast disparity. The anomalies are so much so that nobody can, and the minister cannot supply it.
Not even
the president cannot supply it. And what we have now, and hear me out. Last week Tuesday, I was in a meeting. Hear me out. There's a disconnect because when a gentleman by the name of Mr. Thomas was doing some calculation, and when a question was asked about about that same question. What is the real percentage increase? He said that there was no real percentage increase. So what the JTA has been doing, going around and doing calculation, is really totally banding with numbers, was manipulating numbers. There was no real formula sent to anybody. So I can tell you that the budget presentation said that teachers will be getting at least 20% increase, public sector workers. My salary, Godfrey Drummond's salary, does not reflect 2.7% increase. It's thereabout. And other members, other persons who have spoken to, would have shown less than 10% increases. Now, what is it that will be an incentive for me to stay in the system? That's the question I'm always asking. What is the real incentive for me to stay in the system? To say I'm giving 23 years of service to a country, and for God forbid, my family bawling to move away. My son is overseas. My fiance is overseas.
Mr. Drummond. Mr. Drummond.
What is the incentive for me to stay here?
Mr. Drummond, you are not as important as Peanut Dread.
Radam.
This whole Radam thing is another story.
Them Radam the teachers.
But listen,
them Radam the middle managers. That's what they do.
Gentlemen,
I don't want to just cast aspersion. I am using the supplementary estimate of expenditure that the Minister of Finance table. I'm using his first budget presentation, and I'm using his closing budget presentation to supplement my argument. Now, last year when we were actually held at gunpoint to take that 4% increase, I remember the President Winston Smith coming on one of the online platforms to say it's a damn good deal. Let us take it because November when they reclassified, we will be better off.
Yes.
I don't know if it's better off. But I can tell you, I have had hundreds of teachers who call me to say they are nowhere near where they should have been. Now, I don't know how that calculation adds up. And I am waiting for, and you know what I'm waiting for? The leadership of the Jamaica Teachers Association to lead, to say, this is the way forward. We have not heard anything. All we have heard are, just assertions, misinformation, innuendos, and the propaganda machine trying to defend the government. Now, I don't know who has any senatorial post for grabs, because I hear people selling out because they want to be government senator. I hear people selling out because they want to be advisors to the minister. But I am watching and I am waiting with bated breath because I'm going to punch that hole to say, this is why you sold the teachers of Jamaica.
Hold on, Mr. Drummond, hold that point. Are you saying to us that members of the JT, they're aspirant to be advisor to a particular ministry?
I am saying that in short order, we will see the reappointment of government senators. And if the Access to Information Act is allowing us, then we will know who are the advisors to these ministries. And you are going to see prominent names who are members of this august body called the Jamaica Teachers Association among the gathering for government boards. Now, how can we be? No, you see, I have to be defending an organization that I have been in for the last 22 years to say, don't leave. If it was up to any of us,
hold on 1 minute, Godfrey. Hold on 1 minute.
Different groups.
1 minute, Godfrey. Hold your thought. Gentlemen, I'm not sure, but I'm getting a real bad feedback. I don't know if it's on my side or I don't know, are anybody have another system open? Another device open, probably with the YouTube or with the Yes, it sounds, I don't know, still hearing it. Oh boy. So I'm trying to. All right. Let me. Well, I'm trying to get that to start. Continue your thought, Mr. Joman.
So as I was saying, it is, I've seen it, and I've seen it across administration, and I spoke about it when Rural Reid was president and we had discussions. Persons were saying this and that. In the end, we saw Rural getting a senatorial position, and in the end, he was a minister. We saw Michael Stewart ascending to the throne of a member of parliament. Right? We saw other members of this current administration at JTA being given adversarial position to the Minister of Education. It is thing. It's thing. People are knowing, people know about this thing. And the first time when they can get information, access to information allows us to get information on almost anything. So, and I'm saying, we are going to sit and we are going to listen, and time is going to vindicate the discussion that we are having tonight when some persons have been appointed, unless they decide not to so do.
Probably they are listening to you, no?
I know they are listening, and I know what they're doing now. They have people on the Saudichress show and other shows. Can we see some companies are speaking on the night and wolves in sheep clothing, trying to be other persons because they want to think and to get what you're thinking. I don't know if they're not getting the salient point to go back and tell whoever it is that sent them that these are the issues that are on the ground. But I know they are coming in to listen and to make comments, cynical comments, while teachers have not been paid. Cynical comments while teachers' accounts have been falling into arrears. Cynical comments while teachers continue to pay late fees and late charges and loans and other investment because the government of Jamaica choose to spite teachers by not by not standing to their monthly obligations. It is, let me tell you, it reached a stage where at 22, 23 years in education, if it isn't at all possible, a number of us would want to take early retirement. I'm talking about hundreds of us have the discussion about that because the disincentive that has been given to teachers. And I know for a fact that many of us love this cracking man. Many of us don't want to leave. Many of us don't want to be bothered with starting afresh in a different jurisdiction. But the reality of it is that is where most of us are headed. A lot of us will be heading there come September because let me tell you something. We want as teachers to be appreciated for our task. We are not living in slavery. When it is service for cash, that is what the labor comes down to. So when I give you my labor, my hard-earned labor, you must remunerate me based on what I am worth. Now, if you don't want to pay me what I am worth, and you don't want to pay me at all, it's harder than slavery. And I am not a slave. It's harder than slavery.
I am listening in, and it's a shame. It is a shame, Kevin. And it's a shame. It's a real shame, gentlemen, that the JTA members did not put Godfrey Drummond there that time. That's I think one of the biggest mistakes that they have ever made, because I don't see Godfrey, and Godfrey can probably cock up your ears or something, but I don't see you, Godfrey, doing rushing and almost being upset and vexed with people for days, for weeks, for months, because they weren't going the way of accepting that 4%. I really couldn't fathom a Godfrey Drummond doing that. But you mentioned the president at the time, but one has to remember the salaries chair at that time. Dr. Garth Anderson. He came to that meeting and he almost preached and told the people that, listen, we are about to enter the promised land. Exact words. So accept this 4% and the promised land is there. Because if you don't accept it, no, you can't get it. And that kind of thing. I remember that so well. Dr. Garth Anderson, past president of the JTA, these guys are, and I am here to preaching the same thing to say, don't, that Drummond just mentioned, the answer to all this problem is not for the teachers to go and withdraw their membership, because if JTA ever gets weaker, the government will have a field day.
My God.
All of what you see happening, it could have been worse without the JTA. Far worse. Because I've seen the JTA work and get many issues resolved.
Yes, yes.
Without JTA, it's going to be worse. Far worse. So the Cliff Hughes and those people will be licking their fingers now to see JTA go under it. But that's not.
And I concur. I really concur with you, Mr. Speed. And that is the message I've been saying to my members. That listen, if it is bad and we leave it, it's going to get worse and crumble. What we need to do is to hold persons who are given offices accountable. And if needs be, the same special conference we call for deal with salary. We call special conference and run some man to,
Yes, that is what
someone said them grandfather or them great godfather build JTA, and it is they are here to the throne and they must be given positions. It is a farce. JTA is not a cult. It's not a social club.
Godfrey, one of the things that I found out, and right across the board, that in the education system, because we're not united, that's a major factor. Because I am not too sure right now, based on how certain things have spelled out. If you should have got a special conference to call in that, how many persons or how many delegates will support you?
So many delegates will be flushed out because many of those delegates, many of them are like Bartimaeus, blind.
Yes, some of the delegates are puppets, because they're looking friend from the hierarchy. Anything they said, because remember, when we rejected the offer, Michael, 222 or 23 delegates vote for the offer before they gave us the $25,000, $22,000, which is $74 a day. You understand? And when the Sunday night, Paul Adams came on, and Paul Adams said, this meeting must stop because this meeting is a strategic meeting. The GenSec said, okay, we're going to have a vote to say we must stop the meeting. And I am so frightened. I think the delegates would stop the meeting. They continue it. That's when, before we finish, before we finish vote, the Gleaner could publish to say the teachers have accepted the offer. The president have to say how the Gleaner get this already, and I don't announce it to the members. So I'm saying we want JTA the members. The secretariat, they are not members. We can fire them. As to God, we have to be serious, and we need to get rid of some of them. Because, as we said, we can't, the JTA, the government will wring our neck like foul if we don't have the JTA. But these type of people we're working with, they are supporting government.
And the point I'm saying, is not that they are supporting the government. My view is this. Within the arm of the JTA are the teachers themselves. Because right now, maybe if you do a poll now, you may find 80% of the teachers saying, listen, we want to get rid of those persons at the hierarchy now, because of what is happening now, because of the challenges to which we are facing.
Yeah, sir,
but let us reach this summer when all of this die out and 9-day wonder. Would there same persons willing to stick by that? Yes, Godfrey.
Let me tell you something. I never participated in the online vote. And I had my reason. I spoke to two trustees and I elaborated why I wasn't going to participate. When the information came out Thursday that they are going back to the Minister of Finance,
Yes.
I went into the General Council group and I spoke. The evidences are there. And I said to them, listen to me. Let us convene the special delegate conference for Monday, 10 o'clock. I instructed Dr. Mark Nicely that I would call. They talk about how important it is to get it out of the way because whatever, and they have to meet salary. I said to them, listen to me. If you wish, if you can't get a venue, I will call Sir Gabriel from Manchester High School and book the Manchester High School auditorium. The JTA stands to make 250 million. I said, why not? Yes, at 25,000 each, at $10,000, you know, at 250 million JTA make this year, you know, this month. And I'm just running it up. Check all the deductions. If everybody pays at least 10,000 to 25,000, it's 250 million the JTA will make. I said, why can't we give each parish? We are going to move a motion that each parish gets a bus to take them into Manchester the Monday morning at 10. To have that face-to-face delegate conference. Let the delegates there vote face-to-face to say that I don't want it. They said they wanted it online. I waited the Saturday for almost 4 hours to get online to the 10 o'clock meeting. I took my daughter to class at 8:30. I pick her back at 10:30 and I was there from 10:30 to 1 o'clock. Nobody let me in. They said that it was oversubscribed.
They know you're
I have to wait on the second meeting, which started at 1 o'clock.
Hold on a second. I just found out where this little feedback coming from. Sir Speed, do you have a fan or something running in your background?
No.
I may be the one. I may be the one that have a fan running.
And you have it. Because
Yeah.
when I remove Sir Speed, the noise went. But turn it off, let me see, sir.
Let me turn it off.
Probably the AC then because I have AC running.
Yes, because when I remove you from the studio,
Did you
sir.
hear it?
Yes, I think it is Mr. Speed. It's Mr. Speed background.
Okay.
So Mr. Speed, what you could do then, if you can't do without that AC, you probably could just mute until your time to speak.
Alright, cool.
Yes. Well, that is right. Hmm? Right. So it's something in your background, sir.
So when I gave them all the options to say, let us get the delegates into an area. But other very, very astute trustee told me, Drummond, they're not going to do that. They don't want to face the people one more time. They don't want to face the people one more time, which is why they went on the online mode. And I showed them all the glitches that the online mode. And it came to pass because when the voting, the Sunday, I tried to get in for 2 o'clock. I never got in until 6:45. When I got in, I had my hand raised for almost half an hour. Couldn't get a time to speak. And that is the time that I got a tweet on my phone from the Gleaner that teachers accepted the offer. I have not commented in the General Council. As a matter of fact, last Saturday, I was supposed to have gone to council. I said I'm not going because it makes no sense. We put these mechanisms in place, yet the persons who are entrusted to deal with the mechanisms select who they want. It's almost a control democracy where them tell you what to do and them control you. This thing has been aired long time, you know. From I was at Woolmer's, Cat can tell you. It was a chairman of one of the committees told us what will happen, that if the delegates don't take it, or if the delegates take it, they're going to talk to Mark Nicely, and Mark is going to force a special delegates conference, and we'll have to take the offer whether or not. And it was said to me, and it was rather well, I don't want to say it. It was said to me that, listen to me. I mean, you realize that the primary one principals have been pushed up the band.
Mhm.
So it is like a sweetener. And I said it there to the president, Madam, don't be pushed. Don't be forced. Don't let anybody coerce you into taking an offer that the majority of the teachers did not sign for.
But you know, Godfrey, as a grade one, myself, you must put it as a grade one.
Come
Nah,
on,
no
give
first.
on principle.
All right, everybody knows though. You see that issue where the band has been pushed up? I don't know if Sir Speed remember, but at a back to school conference, the minister then Carl Sumuda has, or should I say that many of us written, we wrote to Carl Sumuda on that aspect of it to say the reasons why I believe that we are underpaid and the amount of work that was being done. I'm not saying this is a part of it because total different scenario. So while many of us as principals would have been happy for it to go up, I really want to say yes, I am happy for that. Unfortunately, I can't speak to it now because I am nowhere near that. A matter of fact, I have not received a dime to date.
You see, I as I said, I don't normally, when I'm making my house the biggest house in the community, I don't break down the houses around me, I try to build them. So I don't want to say because the principals were that. I applaud any effort to get our principals. As a matter of fact, I empathize with most primary school principals, because I believe most primary school principals are supposed to get paid higher than high school principals, because the support that is needed is provided at the high school. There's a bursar there, there's a secretary there, there's so much
Guidance
assistant,
counselors,
there's a guidance
nurses.
counselor there. When you're at a primary school, one or two, and you have to do the accounts, sometimes the instructional delivery is missed, because the teacher, the principal cannot be the teacher and then be the bursar and then be the guidance counselor,
It
because
is a very difficult one.
there may be one
To be
roving
honest.
guidance counselor that deals with 5 schools and them only come to your school one day. So all of the incidences, you have to deal with them when those guidance counselors are out. So I empathize with those principals, and I said whatever remuneration must be given to those schools. You see, I always think that build from the ground up, base up. But no, our educational system is skewed the other way. So we look at the grade 4 and grade 5 school and put more resources there. And we don't realize we don't have no internet in the primary school, but yet we want them go online. When you reach down a try and you can't get no internet run a Actem Betty. Or when you go down a Treasure Beach and you can't get no broadband to get internet. When you go down Moreland Hill down a Little London and you're going to Ashkinish in Hanover, I can tell them. So we need to think about how is it that we are going to deploy the resources. And the minister needs to get up off her high horse. And the Minister of Education, needs to understand where education is. It's not about coining words. It's about getting the job done. Speed can tell you at Rousseau, the transformation from Port Royal to Rousseau. Like
Godfrey,
yourself, at a small school out of Montrose, I can tell them. Right? I can
Godfrey,
tell you, when I was at Petersfield, and I'm not taking credit for myself, but a part of the middle management in terms of moving the school, we had to move the school from maybe 500 to about 800 in 3 years by just getting programs into school that attracts people. People used to pass carry them school because of primary because that was the capital.
mhm.
But when they saw what was happening, they start take them back from sub-primary and put them close by. So these are the little things that we have to do. We have to make the school attractive. We have to motivate our staff so that they can deliver of quality, so that our students can also get that quality. They feel that when they give teacher, they are giving teacher. When you give teacher, you are giving children. When I tell them that, give us some classroom that has good ventilation, them say, I want to go under AC. No, the roof had for the children too. So we can go take a 5 and cool off. The children have to be there under the filtering sun because a zinc and it's so close.
Godfrey,
So
you know what happened?
the conditions under which our children learn is that under which I teach, I see a condition under which I teach. So I might teach and night, but the children are the ones who learn and night. So they have to absorb all the information. We have to look, and I think these are some of the things that, as the president, when you are making your manifesto, it's not about setting unrealistic goals. You have to sit and say, how can I get it? And you know, as a president, Speed, that how difficult it is. You have to sit and show the minister and show the education people them what needs to be done. That is why you could have gotten so many people appointed under your regime, because you understand people. I know, look, you look good enough, Speed. Why people love you, brother?
Be
And
careful
the
of
work that you do.
be
Work,
careful.
work.
I mean,
The work is there, and the work will manifest itself. I mean, I went to a meeting, you know. I can tell you, I went to a general council, you know. And when I
Sir
went to a
Speed,
general council, a certain young lady.
hold on a second. Sir Speed, just turn off the AC a little bit because I want you to jump in whenever we get to this, please.
A certain young lady jumped into me and said, Joman.
Yes.
I said, Joman, you're losing speed 3 times. Eh? And I said, listen to me. You know what I tell me, because guess what? No. I believe in people. And I believe in what is portrayed. You see, for a person who would have lost the election, the first time I spoke to Speed was at a little cricket match up center, And when he showed me what he want, I said, yeah, man, go on. When he lose the second time, I meet down a mobile, and I say, boy, Joman, don't stay to one final and say, Joman, me I go back for eating. I say, yo, go on. I not only say, go on, I bring in Tilly, my brethren, I bring in Miles, my brethren, and I say, yo, Fiona, Suzette, see all of Speed we are going with this year. And Speed, and my brethren in him Tilly now is a man who I go lick, so I say, Speed, you have to buy a drink for that. But we drink happily, man. So we can talk about it, because guess what? No. I can tell you. Before that, I can tell you about Miss Joy Drummond. And I can tell you about Miss Foster from Savlamar Primary. These people have been on general council for 33 years and was never placed on any committees. Never placed on a committee at the general council. Speed is the only man that came to and give some people positions who would have, under normal circumstances, would have not have served or chair any committee, myself included, to say, go chair sports, because it was normally between Manchester and Kingston and St. Andrew. So all the chairmen would have been from Manchester or Kingston and St. Andrew because of where the presidents were aligned. Speed is the only man that said, no, German, we have spread out the thing. We want one president from over St. Ann. We want dad from over St. Ann to come in. You get me? I say, you want to say, we want over St. Mary and get one. Right? We are coming down a West and get 2. We are going down to Manchester, and he spread it out. So the thing was able to spread. So the message would have gone far and wide about what is happening in the JTA. And it's not just a little thing we cook up between some man where then people eating and by Mr. God rest his soul, happy days get so the important part of the meeting, because by the time they reach, the matters are rising. By the time they reach, matters are rising at lunch, and by the time she eat lunch, you have to go back to your catch bus from Westmoreland. And those who are going to pocket bus. The real issues were never dealt with. So the dynamism of what is happening.
You made a point not so long ago that I want to catch up on. You said that the minister needs to get off her higher. But while we are beating on the minister, what about those technocrats? What about the persons in the ministry that were teachers? Some of them were also principals. Those persons are there to guide the minister. I say this to say because I'm pretty much upset with what the Ministry of Education, the minister, and all the permanent secretaries are acting whoever they are. In that meeting that they had last week, and they had said to us that the salaries would have been ready for Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesday for Central Ministry paid schools, and the Wednesday for the Bursa paid schools. I never got a chance to talk, but I put in the chat and I asked. I never remember if I even was answered. Are you sure that these salaries will be ready? But now to come and hear the minister yesterday saying that they never know that this would have taken so long or so much work. Who are the persons responsible to get this done? It seems like they don't know the job. Heads need to be rolled.
Yeah, I think the finance minister should have any job after this. Because they have to realize that the Ministry of Education
Sir Speed, I'm sorry, sir, but trust me, the sound in your background coming up. What I'm getting, you're not coming clearly because there's an interference.
I think though, so, so with, so with it,
Yes.
I think though, one of the things that as a country,
Mm-hmm.
we need to put aside political preferences. There are bad, Speed will tell you, you can't hide bad bowler. You can't hide bad bowler. If a bowler is bowling bad, you can't, then where you put him? If you have an athlete and champ is going on, if you have an athlete and the athlete is weak, you can't put him on no leg of the relay. A weak runner is just a weak runner.
That is
And I
true.
think the Minister of Education is just a weak performer. Whichever ministry she goes, she brings a lot of confusion. And I think that is the biggest challenge. We need to hold the Minister of Finance and the Minister of Education accountable for the debacle that is taking place in education. And it doesn't matter which political side you're on,
Mm-hmm.
because I am sure whichever side you're on, you never get paid before the 28th. And some people still have not been paid.
Big
I,
man.
I, I can tell you, to be sending out these messages, bulletins daily, and not meeting the obligation is not only wrong, it is disingenuous and deceiving. And it is deception. And I think bro, that a part of accountability is remorse. I've not seen any correspondence that says the Minister of Finance or the Ministry of Finance has apologized for lateness. When Damien asked the minister at the morning and the Breakfast Club, instead of apologizing, she went on a tirade to say what it is that she did and have not apologized to the teacher. Say, let me apologize for the lateness of the salary because of whatever. I mean, just some word of comfort. Um, Having missed 3 deadlines in 2 weeks, 3 deadlines. If she had showed some amount of remorse to say, they were apologizing for it, at least some teachers would feel a little bit better. Nobody apologized. Instead, what they do, they start to go off on a tangent to make it look bad for teachers. You know, are sort of inside track because of what is happening. I don't buy that. I don't buy that. I don't believe for whatever reason that the apology, if any apology was given, it was a sincere apology. What I saw was our own teachers, our own staff at the Jamaica Teachers Association
Mm-hmm.
taking up for the ministry to say it's as if they are the ones paying the salary to say, boy, let us give them some time because they're working overtime, they're working. Hey, listen to me.
Sir,
If we are paying you to protect our interest, protect our interest. If
Yes,
you don't
yes.
do that, if you don't do that, then we need to get rid of you and get someone who can protect our interest. It's as simple as thing.
I need to get in Mr. Speed because he has been very, very active over the past 2 days, and he was promised that he was unavailable for a long show tonight. But he's having an issue. But whatever it is, Sir Speed, let me get you because I don't want um you to turn me down when I call you the next time. Proceed. Here's the question I'm gonna ask you, sir. Here's the question I'm gonna ask. The Minister of Finance said no new taxes. No new taxes. But right now, I am foreseeing Saudichress paying 3 new taxes.
What?
Upkeep, all my allowances are now being taxed. They weren't taxable allowances. Still, I don't know, Sir Speed. Sir Speed, we're still not hearing you because of the sound. What I'm gonna ask you to do, just come back, just log out, leave the stream and come back again. Yeah, just come out and come back in. So while Mr. Speed is trying to get back, um, you heard the question, sir, and Mr. Sanders,
Mm-hmm.
no new taxes.
But our
I stand for correction, but
no
based
man,
on what I've
but
listened to,
you're correct. You're correct because our book and software allowance is now taxing. Our um special teach allowances tax, and you're saying your upkeeping allowances.
yeah, man, all the allowances that I say, if because if they're rolled over to salaries now,
Right, so it's like a Anansi, what Nigel Clark take us like, Anansi Tukuma thing. You understand? Anansi
story
that trickster, you know, with Anansi the planting.
story come to bump.
Right, Anansi the planting, and he gave everybody peace and him not left with none. So everybody broke off back peace. And Anansi end up with two. So it's the same thing with Nigel Clark. He's telling that you're going to get more and that you're going to put it in your basic pay, but it's a trick. You put it in one hand and you take it back with another hand. It's a trick.
Um, just to say, Kat, just to say too that you see, we have to be careful of deception. When I watch the budget debate, because I mean, after late, these are things that I want to.
You're good now, sir. Speed.
Yeah, after late, these are things that I actually sit down and pay critical attention to the budget debates.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm of the belief that whenever the budget debate is been presented, I think we should have someone who interprets what is happening. And I'm not talking about Shalman Scott and those economists who are using big economic terms. I'm talking someone who can break it down to let the layman understand. Because unless that happens, then the regular Jamaican don't understand. And let me tell you how critical it is. When the Minister of Finance says we have 12 billion set aside for teachers, but we only have 600 million for the police. No, it sounds like teachers are greedy because 12 billion put on for you, right? But how many police officers do we have? How many teachers? We have 26,000 teachers and we don't have 8,000 police, right? When them say we have 100 million for DC, district constables. You see, because it is a play on word, I saw the minister passing around paper in the parliament as if it's a theater to say these are the taxes that the PNP levied in its term, right around, and people laughing and beating desk. Beat desk for woman. You say no new tax. You never say you're not raise tax or you're not tax otherwise, It just means that you're not putting a new category to say income tax or value added tax. But the tax has risen because in truth and in fact, you and I never used to pay taxes on our allowances. Now, when they absorb them, a new word now, a nice word, they put it, absorb it into your salary. Everything is taxed, Previously, when I get 138,000 from the ministry as my basic salary, that is the only part of my salary that's taxed, So when I get that 22,000 for my traveling, when I get my 14,000 for special teacher allowance, when I get my book and upkeep and what, those were never taxed, So them take the income tax from the 136,000, put on that aside and then add my allowances. So I was always better off. Now what they do, they give me 200,000, but they put everything in it to make it up to 200,000, which is I think is disingenuous. So then put everything that me used to earn as allowances to make up my salary to make it look big, and then tax everything.
But did you know, Godfrey, did you know that as of from March, April 2022, them deduct back everything from us, from the special teach to the allowances?
Listen up, the 24th of November, the 24th of November 2022, Kat. A document came from the ministry, the 24th of November 2022. I'm going to send it to you. That says no allowances that were paid prior to will be taken back, And
I would like a copy of that. I would like a copy of that document too.
Yeah,
they
man,
said
make sure we
no
get a copy,
allowances.
because
No
Clayton Hall,
allowances.
Clayton Hall
They said
convinced
no
me the other day,
allowances.
Clayton, now convinced me the other day, say it's fallacy. Because my bursar told me, my bursar said Sanders, they are going.
I'm going to send it to you now. I'm going to send that document to you right now. If you have WhatsApp, so you can read it. It says no. No. Let me send it. Let me read it for you. Because I have it right here. It never said that it will or it won't. It says that those personal allowances will not be taken back. So I am very, very surprised. I am more than surprised. I was taken aback whenever I saw somebody saying that the government taking back those. It is just, it's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. And we have to hold these people accountable.
Yes,
for it don't make sense. It just don't make sense.
I believe it's not just to hold them accountable, They need to be accounting too. Accountable now have nothing to do with money where we're supposed to get bass. But we need to add the accounting part so we can get something.
Accounting when not even the arm of government that is supposed to be responsible for finances, not even they know the formula to calculate the money. So they are just doing what they feel. And that's why I'm telling you, I'm warning from now that come next month, you're going to hear some teachers bawling that the ministry is trying to recover money that they pay them over the amount that they were supposed to be paid. I bet you it's going to happen.
I have no luck when it comes to these monies, I can tell you that.
But
because people have been getting negative balances on their checks,
man. Every post,
I found it. I just found the release.
Don't take it back down, the calculation is wrong,
I just found the press release. It was sent on the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service letterhead on November 24, Thursday, November 24.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It says government will not be recovering allowances already paid under the new compensation system. And this was signed by the minister. It says the government has never planned to recover and will not be recovering allowances that have already been paid to public sector workers as part of the implementation of the new compensation system. The restructured public sector compensation system represents a new compensation structure for which the public sector. It is not simple an increase on existing rate, nor is it an update on the existing system. It's a new concept of how the public sector employees will be compensated with a guaranteed minimum increase in net compensation. I can send it to you, right? Yeah, it is signed by Nigel Clark. Or a fraudulent in signature on the ministry.
They're not brave enough to do that.
I asked Mr. Speed the direct question about the new taxes thing, because he's an economics in his own right.
Yeah, but the new taxes, we have always been charged new taxes. If they might not call it new taxes, but we have always been seeing taxes going up on all kinds of products, in all forms. So they can just say what they want to say. It's politics. They're playing politics. So they just fool an ordinary little man out there in the street. But when you look at this is a blatant case of where there weren't any tax before, and now we have tax on it. It's straightforward. There's nothing to really dig deep to see.
It is what it is, though. It is what it is, and it is expected for those who. The negotiators didn't do a good job. It's as simple as that. They didn't do a good job. It's just as simple as that. We can't go around it. It's a poor job. And the three people, that is why I'm saying that kudos to the president who walked out of that room. And I am saying again that there is no way that the president-elect should have signed after the president left the room. That meeting should have been adjourned. And then they come back, the caucus, and they come back maybe another week from that.
after they talk to the people, their own people, the JTA membership, the delegates and whatever, general council, before you go back to that meeting to sign. So they have done a bad job from the outset. And remember this, this compensation review thing is not over yet, There are going to be other things that are going to be included in it. For instance, they want to move speedily to the whole thing of pay by performance in this,
Yeah.
Yes. And the appraisal and all these things, when the JTC bill and stuff come into force alongside this, it's going to be an uphill battle for teachers' survival, just mental health alone,
The PE before,
let me ask you.
when we were going to Michael, a principal called me and said the PE call up his constituents in Trelawney, convincing them to take the offer, convincing the teachers.
Yeah, Cat, let me tell you something. You see, I can ask a question, because I know everybody know the answer. How long after the JTA signed did the fire department and the police sign? 1 week after,
Did they get their money?
1 week, and they got their monies that they asked for.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and what was the rush for us to sign? Because we still not get paid.
I'll know.
President.
So why was there such a great rush?
President. Let me tell you something. And I'm going to say this now as I talk about pay again. And it's sad to say that I reached this stage in my life, in my career. To date, the 29th, we are the 29th of March. Good? I have not seen a red cent as it relates to salary or retroactive. Nothing from my superiors, or should I say from my boss or bosses. Nothing, not a red cent. I am not the only person either. But one of the strangest thing, I called the Ministry of Education to the officer who deals with finance for Region 6. And the gentleman could give me his satisfactory word was to say that I will get it this week.
This week done Saturday.
Hold on, exactly. And he could not guarantee me for me to get it today. And he was correct because I don't get it. Well, no, tell me.
Saturday is the first day in April. Tom Fool Day, man, I carry it up. Man, I carry down to Tom Fool Day.
We are big fool. And I'm saying this.
But gentlemen, it is laughable because
we are fighting the devil.
I am saying, you see, when I went to John Woolmarth Auditorium, I went on stage, I spoke to Nadine Malloy. She was clearing up some points because I was asking some question and she was clearing up some points. And I looked at the persons in the salaries and negotiating committee. Part of them wasn't there. But I said to myself, we are in big trouble. And it's not because the persons don't have the capabilities, It's just that those persons have exposed themselves. They've exposed themselves so much to the process that it's as if they hold some persons as demigods in the JTA, and whatever those persons say, they are almost sanctioned to go that way. And I looked at them and I said, it brought back memories of the 2017 visit, And I have the document, I have the document. And let me tell you why the document was important for me. I cut the document from the Sunday Gleaner. That says teacher hang tough. Speed. The Monday was a by-election though. Keisha Hales against Nigel Clark. And they expedited the by-election because they wanted to appoint Nigel Clark as the Minister of Finance. And I'm saying this was why that speed and alacrity, why they forced that by-election and had Nigel Clark, and then They move him to the Ministry of Finance because they realize that his mentality is that the poor will continue to be poor. And anywhere, there's a teacher trying to mobilize themselves and move up, they try to cut it down because they want to bring us to the very bottom so they can look down at us. It's as if when he was a boy, he get a lot of beating in class.
But you know the teacher who have a master's degree, salary cut because a teacher who have a master's get like a 10,000 extra. Not until next year, 2024, they will go one increment up. So the teacher salary cut.
All this allowances.
But that's what but that's the same point I'm making to you guys, you know, that come next month, come June, come beginning of next year, these are the things you're going to hear, that some of the people got too much pay. I'm telling you, because the people don't know how to calculate this money. And when you look at the master's allowance and some of the other allowances, you're going to find out that some of these monies that they pay out already, they're probably going to realize that they paid out too much. This is not reclassification that just went on. It's yes, it has the right name. It's a review, and it's a review that is supposed to benefit the government. And I don't know why JTA couldn't see that.
No, they see it in them. They see it in them, but I don't know. I don't know why. Because the teachers, we are not satisfied with what the government is offering us, and our union is supporting the government to tell the teachers take it, because the first, when we take it upon our head and lock down the classroom system, state start first. The deputy gen sec tell the teachers at Michael that they are fools.
The deputy gen sec, the deputy gen sec might be getting a post soon.
The deputy gen sec will get a post in the next by May 1 at a prestigious university college.
All right.
Are you talking about Mr. Clayton Hall?
Yes, sir. He's up for a post at a very, very prestigious teachers college. So you see, I tell you, time I go validate all that we have said in our speed.
No, but hold on, Godfrey. Hold on. But the man no can apply for a job and get him job, Bridget. Whatever teacher.
Yeah, man. All of us can apply for the job. You could apply for the job,
I don't must
but the sweetener to the deal, the sweetener to taking this deal and selling out the teachers.
I bet you I wouldn't get that job. Bet you I wouldn't get that job.
Remember you went on secondment, your presidents, and you got back to Russell.
Yes. Yes.
Because you never bowed to them and suck up to them to get one of the big schools.
I
was all right with Russell.
I don't think Mr. Speed wants
to walk out of JTA. Read end up at JTA.
No, listen. We know that.
We never wanted a big school.
Check. Let us check the last 15 presidents.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not taking anything away from them. We know Dr. Anderson was at church. We know Dr. Isaacs was at Mr. Isaac was at Monique.
Yes.
We know a few who had their substantial posts and went back. But check after each president's reign, what lies ahead? Or what lay ahead for them?
Well, I never want any of them, that thing. I may have Russell, and I went to Russell and built Russell. And, a lot of things were said and all thing because the ministry never liked how I handled Russell. They wanted to tell me what to do. And anytime you abide by the strict policies of the ministry, your school will go downward. So I did my thing. I did it my way. And they didn't love it. So I didn't want to bother them to try to get anything else from them. I was satisfied Russell. Russell made strides under my leadership. So I never fussy. And and that's why I left Jamaica too, That's why I left Jamaica and show them that I am not leaving myself careless to be at their doorstep to beg them for any appointment. I left. I do my thing on my own. So I'm looking for my own bread on my own because I'm not paying back anybody for anything.
What are the
So I
things,
don't want any post from them.
gentlemen? What are the things that I have observed? And I'm listening.
Me have to run leave your house door, sorry. Me have to go run.
All right. So, hear me, sir. You have to run. Give
Mm.
me your final say before you leave. Allow you.
Well, it is as plain and as simple as what the implications of all of what went on
Mhm.
are clear. It's stark right now. The principals are facing stark reality hitting home, and it will get worse in September. The the middle managers are going to be dropping arms in many instances. I hope they don't really drop arms totally because they are the backbone. They are the lifeblood of schools. Because when the principal, even if a principal is weak and the middle managers are good, the school still looks good and the children will learn the behaviors and so will be controlled. But when you don't have those middle managers in there, very well motivated and so on, you're asking for trouble. So I can foresee even problems for the JTA too, because if the teachers are migrating, and chances are most of them, many of them will migrate coming this year and next year. So that must have some impact on the membership of the JTA as well. Will it be that the JTA will be in a position to recruit new members? I don't know what strategy they are going to use to impress the new members coming out of Teachers College to join. I don't know. Maybe Drummond can tell me. But every facet, every sector, every section of the education um fraternity is going to feel it because of this, what they did. The teachers are disenchanted. They talk every day. They text me every time. Sometimes I'm overwhelmed by it. And up to tonight, some teachers are saying to me that, boy, I still don't get paid yet. And they have their rent to pay and they have their bills to pay, the mortgage, everything to pay. They can't buy gas to put in them car. So the teachers are really hurt. They are really hurt, and some of them are becoming bitter against the organizations that they trusted so much. And I would love to see the ministry do some modernization down there so that even those things can be taken care of, and so that people can feel a little bit more comfortable in the job. Even to know if you want a little job letter down a ministry is 10, 14 days, and when you go back after the 10 or 14 days pass, you still can't get the job letter. Them tell you file loss and all these kind of things. You should be at the click of a button, they should be able to just just bring up a job letter, print it off, and they get somebody signed and send it to you. In fact, nowadays you don't even need somebody to sign because you can ingrain that, and the signature is there so people can send out a job letter to you. It's a big joke, man. The whole thing is a mess. It's pure chaos in the sector. And I don't see it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Well, that talk is always a real thing. When we are in trouble, the first thing we know that it will get worse before it gets better. But sir, it's always a pleasure to have you, Mr. Speed, and trust me, your piece has always been, well received. And so I'm sorry that you have to leave us before the end of the show, but I do
Yeah, man.
understand. And
We are 1 hour ahead.
your commitment to education, we are 2 hours ahead of me.
Hmm.
So I do understand. But your commitment to education and to the teachers of Jamaica, I am sure they always looking forward to hear from you. You know, I said to you that trust me, regardless of what is happening, I know you're not on the ground, but you have information and you know what's happening. If you never had the interest, you wouldn't have keep yourself in the know. So, sir, again,
Yes,
this is
man.
your second time on the show, and I'm sure it won't be the last.
All right, boss.
I can't afford to leave great men like you out of the Saudichress show. So again, thank you very much, and more so, we'll speak again. People,
Yeah, man.
that is
Gentlemen,
Mr. Speed for
good
us
night,
as we go.
gentlemen. Good
Yeah,
night.
man. Good night.
You
Night,
know,
night, night. Yeah,
yeah,
man.
man.
You
Good night,
too.
sweet. You know my biggest challenge though, sorry, with
Yes.
the minister spoke about 1,400 teachers who has some anomalies in their payment structure,
Hmm.
and those teachers will not be paid. I am saying at the 29th of March in the year of our Lord 2023,
Yes.
when will these 1,400 teachers be paid? And will the anomalies that they spot, will those anomalies be corrected this month and next month and year end or next year? Because those are real questions that we have to ask. The minister said it, And while the minister takes credence for staff working overtime, to have salaries rectified, I don't know which of the staff they assign your salary, So maybe that's why you don't get paid. Maybe it's one of the staff who are on vacation leave. You got to sign your salary. But I tell you, boy, it ain't easy.
Sir,
It ain't
it,
easy.
it, it it is at the right start. The right staff has it. But guess what? I don't think there's any um urge to get it done. The truth is, sir, and I'm gonna say this, and some people may wonder why I'm taking up all of this to me. This is the third time in 5 years, or probably more, but I remember third time in 5 years that my salary was never paid in a month or it has been late. And for the life of me, I am yet to know what is the reason behind that. I asked the gentleman today, what have I done wrong? What is it I must do? And people, I'm happy that you are here. Some persons may ask, how come Saudichress or Whitaker talk like this? In the sense that what just took place as it relates to the reclassification, it has been said that the principals are the ones that are benefiting or would be benefited greatly. I've heard that. You have said it too, Godfrey, right? But
I've always said it.
I can tell you, not all principals. Some of us may see a good increase in terms of what they had before. And those are just figures, not actual monies. But this is not my point. I'm not speaking on behalf of principals. I'm speaking on behalf of our teachers. Yes? Because at no time, if somebody don't say principal, I don't use it. I'm a teacher. And for those of you who doesn't know Saudichress really well, I worked in the private sector before and I use that form of structure, the way I think, the way I look. And when I work in the private sector, I work with raw materials. Yes, I deal with people too. So whenever I took up this aspect of leadership, I have to deal with people like raw materials. You know why? Because I want to see them flourish. I want to get them from nothing to something, if you understand what I am saying. And I believe in the persons that I supervise because if they don't work properly, if they don't work good, I don't get paid. So this is the reason why I have to invest in the persons who I supervise. They are the one that let my job get easy. In contrast, they also let my job get hard. But it's a relationship that you have and the support. So the truth of the matter is now, what I'm saying to you, gentlemen, I'm gonna put this to you. The fact that salaries were late, salaries are not being paid properly, they are short. Who's responsible? Isn't that with this late salary thing? Do you believe, Mr. Sanders, Mr. Jomans, that some persons, whether it's from the minister's head, and I'm not talking about Minister of Finance now, I hardly talk about them right now. I'm talking about the Ministry of Education. I believe some head should roll. Heads should roll. The minister can't come to us to tell us that they just realized it was so much work to get it done. Whenever the minister, the ministry, my supervisors ask me for any document, any information, I better have it ready.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right?
Yeah,
Because
man.
it is
Yeah,
my
man.
job. So why the persons who are there who get paid to calculate can't calculate fast enough?
Because them lazy. The Ministry of Education, is, I think, is the sloppiest ministry. Because they lost your document, as what Speed said, you want a job letter, 14 days, all these silly things down there. I am applying for my seniority. I may have to sit down, I have to tell you, say, look here, me have my work to go to, me have to sit down how long the boy not tend to me. No, let me tell you, the Ministry of Education need to shake up from minister, go straight down to the bottom, need to shake up them sloppy. And these are some of the things why I vie for office to be president of JT, to load them up on the media, to let them know how sloppy they are. So as you said as a principal, when your supervisors ask you for a document, you have to give them on time. So when the teachers have to pay, that the teachers must get documents. Why we can't get it on time? Today is the 28th of the month, going 29th
20?
month,
Today is the 29th, sir.
the 29th of the month, and you don't get your pay up till now. Some heads to roll at the ministry from region one. How much them have now? Seven regions?
7.
Yeah, man, they're sloppy, man. Them sloppy down there. And they don't regard us.
Ethan, okay, two things we think about. Two things I'm thinking about. One, when these consultations started in January, at that time I had I had panel inspection at my school, so I never paid much attention. But when we started to go to these consultations, we have to understand what it is that was communicated. One, was it that our deputy GenSec, Mr. Clayton Hall, was misinformed using the calculation that he gave us? Or is it that he deliberately omitted statements are part of the fact in order to get teachers to accept the offer? Because that is the first thing I have to think about.
Hold on. Let me ask you a question. How and where did Clayton Hall get that information from? The figures, that spreadsheet.
That's what I'm trying to find out, because here in it, last week, Tuesday the 21st, a gentleman by the name of Thomas, I don't know what Thomas he was in the meeting, and he was saying that those calculations were erroneous. So I wanted to find out. Clayton Hall made some assertions, and I'm holding the deputy GenSec because I believe he's an honorable man based on my interaction with him over the years. Of
course, no doubt.
So I don't want to lose it, but it based on the agreement that Clayton says every teacher should see at least 10% increase in net salary. It was 20% first, you know? Then it went down to 10%. And he said to me, when you do the calculation, if your net salary has not risen by at least 10%, it means that you need to consult them. For what? What do I need to consult you for? What was the system? What was the logics used in calculating those salaries? You see, one of the things is that my word has always been my bond. So if I give you my word, I'm giving you my bond. And if I'm telling you that we will get this done, it means that it can be done. If it can't be done, then I'll explain to you why I'm not sure how doing it. But let us look at it from an angle. But you gave us the assurance that the salaries were calculated were net salary first and foremost. And then you said nobody will get less than 20% for the first year. I am telling you, more than 50% of the teachers have gotten less than 20%. And even more than half of those have gotten less than 10. So how is it that this calculation, it is gross in, I don't even want to put it, but it more than incompetent to say that the person who we trusted to meet with the technocrats to work out the system misinformed us, so much so that we are miscalculating on our own. You understand what I'm saying? So it even go beyond that, man. It even go beyond that. Right? It is as if you're moving the goalpost at minimum standard during the game. So anyway you want to put it, you put it to suit you. And the target keep moving downward and downward and downward. It doesn't add up, you know.
Godfrey, you and O'Keefe, the question may I ask. When these figures came out, is the JTA tabulate them? Are them draft up the spreadsheet there? Or them get the information from the Ministry of Finance or Education? That is the question that I would love to get an answer for.
I don't know. I just when we go to these consultation meetings and so Clayton Wallace come with some of the figures and where we meet face to face. He gave us some flyers, some handouts with the calculation, the PowerPoint. I don't know where him get it from. I don't know if it's the Ministry of Finance or his own calculation.
That is the question I'm asking, because listen to me, gentlemen. Let me see if I can find it, because I'm going to put it out there now. I'm going to place that calculation thing out, because this is what I want to know. Is it the JTA, the Ministry of Finance, or the Ministry of Education come up with these figures? Until I get that answer, then there's something. The answers or the questions that I want, the further questions that I want to ask or probe will come out. I don't know if it is good enough for you to see it, gentlemen.
That will zoom it up.
Which are the scale is that? The old scale and the new scale?
These are the latest scale, sir. That is it. This is the latest scale that I got. Let me try zoom it. I don't know if it will zoom. But
I remember you said it. If you're on bond 4 at 0.3, your net pay after everything, your net pay will be 174,000. If you're on bond 4 at 0.3, but when you do the calculation and find out with the retroactive way you get, that you throw off.
Because band 4 right here at 0.3 for the trained graduate. And this is gross. It says 0.3, right? 2.647 million. $657. So if you calculate that by 12, I guess that's where you get it.
You sure are the latest one this?
Well, this is why you are here, sir. This is the latest one that I received.
That is the latest one, man. The 2.647, that's the one. That will make a teacher at band tier, at band 4, tier 3, will get 220,000 per month as their base pay. Right? But when you tax it, it might bring you worse than you were actually. Because the calculation again that Clayton give us is that this will not be taxed. That's the point, you know.
Yes.
They gave us this calculation as net and not gross.
Right.
I remember clearly too on this show, sir.
And so when he did those, he never realized that they were going to take the 25% from income tax, the 5%, the education tax, the NHT. He never realized that they were going to take the pension from it. And so teachers might find themselves even worse off.
And
let me show you a pre now. Because it is, I have to break it down to my virgin them as a layman. My virgin is a first degree. When we have a first degree, we get like We were getting like 139 as our BSP.
Yes.
140, thereabout. Good. Now with our first degree, we are get 220. See?
Mm-hmm.
So that's an 80,000 difference. You get me, Virgin?
Yes.
So 80,000 difference. Boom. But look how the thing work out now. I am not getting 80,000 times 12 as my retroactive, you know. You see what I say?
Right.
Because your retroactive should be the difference between the salary that you used to get and the salary that I get now. If we do that, we're in a problem because that is the calculation that most people should be using. Minus the tax, minus the charges.
Mm-hmm.
You get me, I say? Watch the next pre now. The 139, 140,000 we used to get. We get 22,000 senior teacher upon it. We get 14,000 for I think a book and software allowance. We get so in all when we do all of when we get all of those allowances, it brings us up to about 190,000.
Mm-hmm.
You get me?
Yes, my God.
All right. So 190,000. If we take away the 225, that is 30,000. Not different. Multiply that by 12. So each teacher supposed to take home 360,000. Plus them salary.
Yeah, I understand it because it's 220. I see. I saw on my gross.
That's a basic maths. That's a basic maths, cat.
Mm-hmm.
If you get 180,000 and you get 20,000, 220, I get 40,000 difference. So if you owe me 40,000 for 12 months, you're supposed to get 480,000 as my retroactive. Take away your taxes and whatever. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
That's a basic thing. That is not happening. And the teachers, that is what the teachers want to see explained to them. And whoever is the technocrat can't come to work out that version. Why you have mumbo jumbo? I don't talk about, you know. No, my brethren, we think they can't calculate your money, you know.
Why?
And let me tell you why they can't calculate your money.
Mm-hmm.
Because you see all the upkeep you get from January, from September, from something last year.
April.
From April last year.
Yes.
Them a work out how to take back the whole of the upkeep there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
My principal, my guidance counselor, all that upkeep what she get. Then take back everything, you know. You realize? No, listen to me now. Your car where you drive going to Timbuktu, go drop off letters and whatever. You can't take back the wear and tear off of your car.
Absolutely not.
You can't take back the stresses with your car, the amount of tire you bust. You can't take back the amount of parts you buy for your car from last year. So why do you take back the upkeep? If you can't absorb the allowances into salary, why you can't absorb the upkeep? And when we were asked last November, before they made that December disbursement, you know, November 24, that was I sent you the document. I sent you the WhatsApp, sorry.
Okay.
That was the response that we get, you know, that the government is not going to recover those monies. So all of a sudden come March 31st now, everybody take back their money. And we look like a shame dog, a walk around because we never understand the whole principle and precept behind the processes. It is flawed to the very core how it has been done.
You know, sir, let me tell you something. It is really sad indeed. It is really sad. And it means that tomorrow, sir, I'll definitely call Mr. Hall, you know. The only question I'm going to ask him, where did he get this tabulation from? That's all I want to know.
Listen to me, no, man. I'm going to tell them all the while, you know. Grade 1, I get in a maths, no, man. I'm going to get C in all level maths. I'm going to do add maths and get C. So nobody no fool me in a maths. Me know how to do my calculation. If there's a formula, I can crunch the numbers in the formula and get the desired result for myself. When salaries over the previous years at my school and in my DA, when we have our DA meeting, that's one thing when we go through and say, listen to me, know your salary, don't hide your salary. Because if you lose money, if them short pay you, you need to know how much. You need to know which scale you're at. You need to know which point you're at. You get me?
Yes.
There's so much thing that the minister has done that are injustices that it's not even pretty. You can imagine a person, I would have done 23 years. I did 3 years as a pre-trained teacher. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
I did 9 years as a diploma trained teacher. You get me? And I did the rest of the time, almost 11, close to 11 years as a first degree teacher. Coming to complete my master's. See? So I do my first degree. Boom. At 11 point, I have a first class honors diploma, I have a first class honors degree. So it means that I did it point 13. Point 13 on the old scale.
Where are you now?
The exhaust the old scale in the virgin. And you came back a point 3. See me? So guess what I think now? And you're not giving no incentive. You're not giving us any incentive now. Listen how it is, you know. You're not giving us any incentive now, bossy.
Yeah.
Figure finish my masters because you're not giving no money. You give me 1 increment for my masters. I'm pay much money already. Me have some course left. I'm pay much money already. So why me shouldn't invest in our business? Why me shouldn't give my son and my daughter? Put on the money there for my son and my daughter. Because me done 23 years, I mean that's nothing. When I do my first degree, I have to sell my car. I have to sell my Mark II grand if you go to college. Because I never want to borrow. There's no incentive for it. And the teachers must understand that. Listen to me. If there's no incentive, there's going to be no growth. When you look at the Gleaner last week, at 17 principal position advertised for September of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Over 26,000 teachers, you know, who going to upgrade and who going to end-sell like cat, them going to end-sell. Only 26 principal spaces at the primary school. And let me tell you something. Half of those 26 gone already because the church don't decide who them are give. The politician then don't decide who them are give. So the other 6 were there. A dog eat dog.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, Godfrey, you are saying to me right now in this whole environment, if you plan to stay in the classroom, it makes no sense to upgrade.
No.
The government doesn't make it applicable for us to upgrade. If you have a first degree now, but you go on and banter it and finish up because there's no lateral movement. That was vertical movement on the scale. So every year, and look how it is now, cat. Look how it is now. 1 to 4. 1 to 0.1 to 0.4. You get 1. So if you do 4 years in our system, you're on 0.1. If you do 5 to 8 year, you're on 0.2. And if you do 8 to 14 year, you're on 0.3. So it means that you have to be an old man for reach. You have to do in our system 40 years for reach band 8, you know.
At 28 years, in our system and a 0.3 me there.
The question I was about to ask.
I guess what now, cat. First time when I moved from diploma, you know. When I moved from my diploma and go finish my first degree, you know, cat. Right now, I'm going to 0.3 on the degree scale, you know. I start move up the ranks. So when me I do my master's, I say, all right, when the master's done, I go 0.2 on the master's scale and go and move up the rank. There's no more incentive. So the master's man, the degree man, them everybody lump in a one band. And them will give you 1 increment.
And we go through a reclassification, and we go through a reclassification process.
Get me now? They will give you 1 increment for your masters, you know, cat. 1 increment for your masters. So it means that you owe your masters and me do owe my bachelors. They only going to be 100,000 different. Divide 100,000 by 12, it's going to be about 7,000 odd. Right? And when in tax, it might be about $6,000 different. For you go spend $500,000 for do a masters.
Or more?
Or more.
I would love.
Look at this pre-train.
Hold on there, Sir Sanders. Godfrey. That any institution you know of a master's for $500,000.
No, man, no, sorry, man. I'm a figurative. If I have $500,000 for do a master's and all, cat, why wouldn't I invest it in our little mini mart, our little business? We can turn over the money and make our money. Because guess what now? If I'm going to invest $500,000 to make $6,000 a month, I know people who sell bag juice on the road who per week I pay a partner for $5,000 a week. And bag juice them sell and water on the road, you know. And yet them a throw a partner.
What do you think, Godfrey? I don't understand your calculation as your maths man. This is a pre-trained teacher send me her what she got.
Hey, Cat, I not even
271,000.
want to talk about pre-train. I not even want to talk about the diploma train. I not even want to talk about the few dozen certificate teachers who still in our system. Because believe me, where I put them in now is really hand to mouth. They might can't buy lunch after April.
Listen, my man. Listen. You see, all of this information that you have just given out in this last session here, when Mr. Speed talk about teachers will leave and teachers are discussed, right now what you're saying to me, what you're saying to Jamaica, it makes no sense.
Sorry.
Trying to upgrade in terms of qualification. Because one thing I can say, and I'm going to say this to you, Jamaica, I'm going to say this to our young teachers. If you plan to stay in the classroom, don't do a master's.
Cat.
Because I figure that most teachers are already at the first degree.
Cat. In 2015, I was at a ceremony, a civic ceremony, where they were trying to explain the Vision 2030.
2030, yeah.
One of the things that was bandied about was that they want us to have at least 10% of our population to be tertiary trained with a first degree. Seen as an incentive. A lot of people who had diploma in education go borrow money if it get them degree. I might not have recovered those money. No, what happens is that based on where they are now, Cat, based on where they are now, nobody wants to take that risk and go study again, because this reclassification, and let me tell you why it is even more devastating. I tell you, I beat a man because I know a nurse forget enough money because they do whole heap of work in a COVID. I know it's fireman them there at the front because my brother is a fireman. My niece is in the fire service. My sister is in the fire service.
Police.
But when my sister got a scholarship for UWI, I took her and said, come do the fire training. You know why? Because she now go do 4 years. She now go pay for 4 years of education. Government pay her for her 6 months of training. And now she's at the rank of a corporal and earn more than me. Essential service, So guess what? Government not building this about education, Education is no longer essential service in the Virgin. So it goes back to Alexander Bustamante, 1962, when he says education cannot put in a pot and eat.
Definitely.
So may I say, if we don't value education and see the impact that Jamaica has had and the impact that education has had on the Jamaican society so that we can impact the world, when is it that we are going to be appreciated? So I am saying, if anybody come to a teacher to say, come here, go down to Cuba, go down to Belize, go down to Guatemala, which part? Them appreciate. I know just the money alone, Is that appreciation for your work and worth?
People, you heard it. But while you're there listening and probably having a munch, please hit the like button. And I suspect that there are some persons watching who are not yet subscribed, so they don't participate in the chat. Please do so. We are bringing you valuable information.
Me and Cat reason, man. Cat I'm a senior college, man. Me and Cat reason, me and Woody then reason, man. All the way in a group and reason. Me and Lawrence through all the way reason, man. And we are yaga them all the way. We have the discussion. And I would glad because some man are sent to principalship, some man gone on ministry, gone work, some man still in the battlefield, some man run off, gone foreign. You get me? But we understand that all of us have a passion for this land and a passion for education. You get me? You spoke about it, when you're working at the private sector. Michael Clark told me that, Michael Clark said, as a youth coming at GC, Michael Clark saw me and said to me, listen to me, Virgin. Anyhow you go work, anywhere you work, all if them give you money, all if them give you millions, make sure you have the quality raw material so that you can change life. It's important, man. Look how much money you have, if you don't have a raw material,
you're not a problem.
You're going to lose that job because you need the ingredient to make that final product.
Of
So
course.
if they're not giving us the raw material with which to operate, Virgin, a lot of teachers that make blood out of stone.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of teachers that make blood out of stone, you know. I have the lad principal like you and principal like Speed and Scotty over Mobile them who stand up for them teachers and say, listen to me. If no money around, we have to find a way to get us some lunch I canteen. Because you have some principal who believe that once them rise to the top, you know.
Yeah, man.
Then you should eat lunch, you know. Then
Me
you
tell
know
Saudi earlier about it, yeah. I hate that. Them above teachers.
That is it. Them feel say, you know if you come sit down in the office and get an AC, you know, because the AC is prestigiously placed for principals alone, you know. And they don't understand that happy cow gives out so much milk that if you make a teacher happy, you will get the responsibility and the respect and the
well-being of your staff. You have to look out for that.
You get me? A lot of teachers have mental issues. The mental health has been deteriorating by the day because they have to think about by time they get paid, you know, and I have to talk me have a lovely partner, you know. I have a lovely partner who works overseas, you know. And she said every summer my daughter is here because I choose to have her educated in Jamaica. But every holiday she said send up the baby, you know. My son is overseas at university, you know. And then I think couldn't go Michael, I'm gonna read Michael or GC, you know, or UE, you know. But we just figure that we need a first world education for him have a way out. Because let me tell you something. The way in which we have been treated in Jamaica as teachers, regular teachers. And you even hear some of the new teachers who get a big work, you know. They more feel nice, you know. But wait till they start bitter them belly. You get me? Them are going to run.
They might very well not stay either.
But me always say, Bridging, me I go stand up in a Gideon and fight. And I passionate we having a cat. That's why we want represent teachers.
Yeah,
I love a big house. We don't want to go St. Andrew in a mansion, you know. Because so much sin has been committed in that mansion that one day me feel say, like in our strike and it all burned down, you know.
That's true, man.
So me no want no man feel say a mansion don't want. Me have a 2001 Toyota Corolla when I drive, you know, Virgin. A big car, you know, fascinate me, you know. My brother left 2 cars down a yard, I'm gonna drive one of them, you know. Because in England he live and he give me a house. Me not stay down there. So don't feel say the vanities attract me. It's just serving the people. Because I want people feel comfortable in their own right. And I am saying the people who are making themselves available to be representing the teachers, we need to speak closer scrutiny to them and to evaluate. If it's a principal or a prime minister or a president, it don't make a difference who you are. Yes, I must see that conviction and that passion that you want to leave a legacy and make a difference. Right? Speed never have much to give, but what Speed did was to ensure that the welfare of teachers were taken care of. Some teachers who did that who acting for 7 years, principal who act for 8 years because board chairman have them on a string. They were able to get appointed.
And Godfrey, you're saying that
teachers who pension was pulled.
You're saying that Speed never have much to offer? That's one of the greatest
I tell you,
things that he would have implemented.
Teachers file put on a ministry for 8 months and then not get paid. And teachers are come to school and a ball and a Speed. I know.
Because I'll know my school is bursar pay. And I'll know teachers not being teachers get all advance. If you come on and staff a little come on and staff, say maybe about a month ago, I advance them give them. Godfrey, look like him last.
And it chip out.
Yeah, man.
Sorry about that. The internet went. You know what? I beat a fire. Then thing I that still, you know.
Yeah. Be careful, you know, Godfrey.
Internet chip, man. When you beat a fire, you know, when you beat a fire, cat, that's why internet always chip. But me realize that a part of the technology, a part and parcel of the whole thing in the country still. What I'm saying, man. What I'm saying that, I mean, we have to understand, man. We have to understand and we have to care more for the people who are under our watch. We have to give credence that's going to happen, man. We have to believe. And if we can't get that level of belief there, trust me, gentlemen, it don't make no sense to put up with self. Because let me tell you one thing what happening at JTA now. JTA has become an old boys club or a godfather club. So my cousin and my nephew and my godson who me raised, them have a thing they call them future leaders. Nothing wrong with indoctrinating people and getting them into leadership early. We love that. But don't make it so conspicuous that you put that set of man in the thing because you indoctrinate them in your thinking. They can't think other than that. And you put them into leadership because you want to control them. You get me? That is what is happening in the JTA now, you know, which is why we have only one candidate.
But the Gensec,
I mean, I say, Mark is not a good boy, no, Mark.
The Gensec told me, you know, that all the parishes nominated Mark Smith.
Virgin, let me tell you
It is
something.
showing politics. He say, if you know politics, it is showing that it's Mark Smith them want. And like him I say,
Let me
in a mix
tell
of
you something,
give me
man.
nomination.
No. Let me tell you something, man. The JTA went around and promoted Mark Smith as the only candidate. I mean, I have nothing against Mark, and I tell you again.
Mr.
But
not against
for
Mark neither.
democracy, for a healthy democracy,
we can't depend too, sir.
Sorry.
No bother with that. No bother with that, my boss. You can't tell me, sir.
Sorry.
Hold on, man. Hold on, Godfrey. Are you saying to me, with all of those madness, if you ask me, unfair judgment that Dr. Mark Nicely made against you, Sir Sanders, you don't have anything against him?
No, Mark Smith, I said.
Oh, Mark Smith.
Mark Smith.
Sorry
Not
about
Mark
that.
Nicely.
Sorry
Mark
about
Smith.
that. And is this a
No,
Mark
man.
Smith you're talking
Mark
about?
Smith. I said Mark Smith.
Oh.
Mark Smith is the president. Is the person who is going up for
Yes.
the
Okay,
person of the
fine.
president.
No, I got you wrong.
As I said,
My apologies.
Mark Smith is not. I can't judge my character. Me and Mark have some dialogue, and him seem to be a good youth. So me not say it's about youth. But what I'm saying is that for a healthy democracy, a 26,000 strong union should not have just nominated one person.
But the teachers dropped the ball too. The members of the JTA, sir.
Hey, let me tell you something.
We should have actually called out for clarity.
Yeah, look,
transparency.
you know that Matt Nami supposed to run this year. Matt Nami supposed to run, and Suzette wanted to go back to, you know.
And what happened?
But I don't know why they don't. They didn't send in their nomination because look at them, tell them, say, look here, a Mark we work with. So,
let me tell you something.
It's a little puppet thing.
Sorry. Listen to me, man. There are 14 parishes, you see? There are 14 parishes. There are 78 districts. 78 DA. The JTA need to put definitive to say, listen to me. In order for you to be nominated, we have to get nomination from 2 parishes and 5 DA. Something like that. Just like what they do for JFF elections to say you have to have 3 nominations or else you can't make the ballot. Because, let me tell you something. What happens is that any one parish can nominate a person or 1 DA and he go. Any one parish, once you get 1 nomination and you accept it, you go to the tribunal, the credential committee meet to say if you want to or you're not. Any. That has to stop. There must be clear and defined limits as to who. It's much like the awards that are given at the national. The Ben Hartons, the Edith Lawton James, any DA can nominate. You can't, as the DA president, you can nominate yourself to say, I want to be nominated because of the 20-year service.
Okay.
It ought not to be. I know Mrs. Avril Blair, who do 36 years. Miss Perdodok, who do 33 years at my school. Miss Fraser, Petronella Fraser, who do 30 years, who would have left the system over the last 4 years, who have never been given an award from JTA. Never.
So what about that Golden Touch Award that they have given persons serve?
The last set of Golden Touch Awards, when I was the parish president, I decided that I'm going to nominate all of my teachers who reach retirement. And that was how we get about 3 or 4 of them to get Golden Touch. Because, let me tell you, I have nothing against Stone Cat. You're Clarendon man still in about you take up Clarendon man. Take up Town thing, but it looked like Jamaica end on the highway. So when the awards, when the grants, when the book grants, when the tertiary grants, when the awards, everything are paid town people, Punish Town, St. Catherine, St. Andrew people, and you see them full up the line in a region of Westmoreland.
But sir, it's sad, because right now, if you check all those persons in the hierarchy of JTA, They are country people.
Virgin, that's why come on.
So them just forget about country and gone now.
Man, we got town and man in culture in one way. And
But
so
let
much
me
so
tell you
that
something. Let me tell you something. Last year when I nominated, before they called me to the credential committee, maybe it's about 3 to 4 weeks. They wanted to speed up Mark Smith's nomination. That when the nomination closed the 18th, I have the 23rd when my day nominated me. The next day, the 24th, that is when the credential committee was going to meet with Mark Smith to how they were speeding it up. So they totally don't want nobody else. And they knew that I was going to give some trouble in the race this year. Because they never expect me, remember, they never expect me to beat Suzette, Because Suzette is a stalwart of JTA, Right? And when them see me run close up on when name Little Johnson. Yes. Them say this man will give some problem. This man will give some problem. Because you know what I didn't like with it neither? They do electronic voting. And the voting closed 12 noon the Friday. And they did not open the ballot, announce result until the Wednesday. Now, if you have done electronic voting, you must can open up and say this is the preliminary result. But we are going to do our little check-in to find out everything is legit. Not until the Wednesday before I could know who win.
So it is highly possible.
You understand?
It is highly possible that there are some, how would I put it now, Mr. German? Unforeseen.
No, you can't.
Difference in the result.
Tell you about it, But I felt it, I can tell you, 997. I am Winston Smith, 997 to 2000 odd. In COVID, when I can't visit nowhere, and them say voting is going to be done electronically. You know what them do? They're going to use bimodal voting. So you have some people who walk in and some people who voted electronically. And it was so flawed that, listen to me now, I didn't want to sound like I didn't want to sound like a
you don't want to sound like a sore loser.
So guess what I'm doing? I had my delegates in most of the parishes. I never have 3 parishes. But when they told me that, the Friday the ballots were counted for those who went in and vote, it was about 300 to about 500, He was about 500 and odd, maybe about 300 and odd. I won in a couple of the parishes, maybe 2 or 3 of the parishes. He won in most of the parishes. But when I asked about the online voting, they said that I have to come into Kingston for the counting. I said, what the online voting is showing? They can't tell me what the online voting is showing. So I'm saying, how is it that person voting online electronically and you can't tell me? Half the hand. And then give me a whole heap of run around. Anyway, I'm a brethren from Inwood. I carry, I carry Mr. Gray. I'm a brethren. I'm carry Angus. Because I know Spangos, I'm a virgin from GC. So we carry Spangos, and we go in there and Spangos said, Drummy, this don't look good. Challenge. I said, no, we're not challenging. Anything you teach them want, them will get. Because guess what? No, if you ask for one wicked leader, expect wickedness, So we never really contested it. I did it because of 2 things, sorry. I wanted to show teachers that, listen to me, this JTA run by someone. Anybody can be nominated and go run. And I was successful in getting people to say, John, but boy, you're brave, You really take on him. He said, no, man, I say, man, hey, campaigning was a joke for me,
But you never campaign.
Me no campaign. It was joke. I drove to a couple of parishes. I drove to Manchester. I drove to St. Elizabeth. And I drove to St. Anne. And we do some campaigning. Me go Clarendon and then AGM because that was done face to face.
Yes.
But me not go nowhere else. I was supposed to go in some meetings. When me ready for going in a meeting, them bump me out. Them say, me get personal. They say me attack principal, me attack people. And me say, listen to me, call it what you are. When me tell you the point, when me tell you the truth, when me tell you, say, this is going to happen, don't tell me, say, attack you. I know exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You get me? I say people even chastise me when I tell them that. Listen to me. I want to be the president, but I don't want to be a principal first. Become a principal. People say maybe me not ambitious enough, and no, it has nothing to do with that, Virgin. I just believe that as a teacher, I want to impact those teachers who come in contact with me to believe that, listen to me, you can achieve from this noble organization. You can rise to it up, just like a constable going at police. You understand me? A
Mm-hmm.
constable going at police force. I want to be the yeah, man. I want to be
Commissioner.
the president, just like anybody else, and everybody.
And represent the teachers.
So
But let me ask.
when Cat tell me say my vote, me never afraid. Me never afraid for Carl Virgin them. Me only disappointed so when me organize Westmoreland for Cat come, him never show up because them again, them put him in one different meeting. You have two meetings same time.
You understand?
You
I
get me?
was just
So
I was
he
just
was
I, I was just about to
online in a
ask.
meeting.
I was just about to ask because me know no fear, I no brave. I was just about to ask you guys if you had supported each other as classroom team.
No man, me support Cat man. Away
Yes,
man.
man. Now we have some man. Well, when God throw me in the one group, man.
Guess what? No. Guess what? No. You can't have different man. We send different, send me ideas, man. And I say, boss, look for my manifesto if you see not know the man. Put in there and don't be afraid. When Cat go a conference, come mash up conference, me give him part of the speech, you know. Yeah, man. Visit take the man. Cause they love his
Sir
flag, they
Cat,
love his swag.
Sir Sanders,
Yeah, man.
why did you remove your speech from YouTube?
Huh?
Why did you remove your speech?
I don't remove it.
It's not there.
It's not there again.
It's not accessible.
I don't know. I don't trouble it.
Okay, all right.
Cat,
So you see, there are so many
you
things that are.
Cat. Hey. Cat, it's when I go to Cat. Me do two debate, man. And every time me cut excerpts from the debate, you know. Me cut excerpts from the debate, you know, because me want them understand that you see these debates are reference, points of reference in future. Points of references, you know. So when I tell them and them say, listen to me, the government now go put at 100% at market value, you know. Winston the teacher supposed to be 120%. And I said, Winston, how will you do it? It's not about not wanting it, you know. Being realistic. How?
Yes.
And they never.
It never.
And I tell you, these presidents, everybody coming. Nobody coming out of the pandemic and you tell me 100%. How? I said, how? Who will sit with you to give you 120% of market value? Make the thing move increments 5%, 10%, and then you try and reach there. But how? We're still in holidays, so you're not going to get paid for holidays. So you're not going to go at 100% of the market value. You get me? I mean, I said, let us be realistic. We still have about 800 retired teachers who, after retirement, their health card has been rescinded because they're no longer in our system. And some of these have lifestyle illnesses that they pick up during 15, 20 years of teaching or 30 years of teaching, right? And we choose not to go to our health service provider to say, listen to me, let us extend this to the life of the card until these people die or something. Because these are people who would have done 35 years of service in education and now they deteriorate. And they terminate the health service. When one lady tell me, say, her medication for the month costs 15,000. You can imagine a health card would have take off maybe 10 or 12,000 off of that, how good should I feel?
Of course, because I when I campaign, I went to pass for one of the DA past retired teachers, and when we put out the thing to them, they must say, boy, we want you win.
Yeah, but these are the things that we want. People who are making themselves offering themselves a service, they need to look at some things. All right. We have nurses now in schools where I get X amount of money. Why don't we approach the Ministry of Health to say, let us get some of these nurses in primary schools with an establishment of maybe over 250. Any primary school with an enrollment of over 250, we get a nurse for them.
Yes,
hold on. Not because I don't reach there, but me no night with you. Listen to me. And let me, you see, because you raised this point, Mr. Drummond, listen to me carefully. You see, this aspect or this notion or this, what would I say now? Well, it's not rule, but governance. We're gonna use the number, right, to quantitate the need for certain resources, human resources, that is. And I'm looking at what you just said, having a school with a population of over 200 to get a nurse. Are you saying to me, and this is a question I'm always asking since I've been a principal, are you saying to me that schools or students with the number of 100 or less don't need a nurse? Don't need guidance
No,
counselors?
no,
No, but this is
no.
what I'm saying. I don't want you to sell the point of establishment to say that establishing numbers to
No,
get these
no.
sets.
No, we have to
I
start
think
somewhere.
Sorry,
no 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 no
sorry,
no
We
no
have
no
to
no no
start
no.
somewhere
sorry.
in a
I
Saudi.
am not with it. No, sir. This is the same thing that has been going on for hundreds of years. It has to
Sir,
just
But
put
sorry,
no primary
sorry. Listen to
school,
me now.
blatantly
Listen to
no
me now.
primary school have
Sorry,
any nurses, you know.
sorry. I mean,
none.
don't get me wrong, you know.
But
Don't
all
get me wrong, you
primary
know. The
schools,
duty
all
of care.
schools need nurse.
Sorry, the duty of
Yes.
care, you know. The duty of care. Now, let me tell you, the duty of care,
Mhm.
you know, does not rest with just establishment, you know. So the number is not important. What I know is that I did a course in industrial revolution, and it tells about skillful negotiating technique.
Mhm.
You see, if I go and say all primary school deserve a nurse, the Minister of Finance are going to tell me so that's not feasible.
But
The
sir,
Minister of Education are going to tell me say I'm foolish. And the
sir,
Minister of Health going to tell me say I can't pay for that.
this is
So
where we
Mhm.
need
you
to
see,
break it.
I need to stop. I need to have a starting point because if I
The
can get a nurse in 500 schools or 400 schools, it means that I can start the bargaining at a
even
much more
transportation.
conscious level.
Look at these
So,
buses.
so I don't want to be. I don't want to be taken out of context. You're quite right about that. So I'm not going to use a number for
And I'll take out the
alienate some
context,
people.
man. Because,
I
let
don't
me
want.
tell you, I felt the wrath of it because, sir,
True,
and I'm using the issue of guidance counselors.
don't you?
I'm
One to
telling you,
450.
I am saying to you that
Because your school have
schools
450.
under that population are cohort, they don't have, the students don't have issues. They don't need guidance and counseling.
And sometimes they need more guidance and
You need
more.
more guidance and counseling because them
Listen,
school with a small
those,
population like 100 or so.
listen, me man. That's the question that I'm asking.
But
When I was,
seriously though, seriously though, Cat. And I know Sadi.
Mhm.
Sadi is passionate about it. But can't we, coming out of a pandemic, and we have nurses going away in droves, the government seem to realize that and dash a whole of money in health towards nurses compensation. Can't we get some of these nurses in the primary school? It is the need for care at the lower end and at the higher end is so much greater than even at the secondary level or the tertiary level. I can
But
tell you that.
our negotiators, they are not negotiating these things. Because you
No
see,
man, negotiators negotiate for themselves, you know.
I must say this to you though, with all fairness to the JT and that aspect. If the JT are negotiate, the magic negotiate for teachers.
Yeah
I
man.
am I am not too sure. And you are prospective president. If the JTA really and truly negotiate on behalf of students.
No, they negotiate on teachers. But what does teachers use? I can't teach a class with those students in there. You know.
No, hold on, hold on,
so
hold on.
nurse, so when
I
a
agree
child
with that.
gets
I
injured,
agree with that. But the point I'm making, sir, the point I'm making, if you even raise the teacher's salary by 100%, the resources in the classroom will still remain. Are you saying that 100% that I got should now go and finance the classroom?
no.
No,
Good.
not at all.
Exactly. So what I'm saying now, the JTA will not look across no nurse, no that. But you're making a good point.
Yeah.
Because once we have those resources in the school, the nurses and the guidance counselors, the teachers will be a bit lighter. Will be able to
Perfect.
focus on
Perfect.
teaching and learning.
Perfect. But if you can recall And Cat, you help me out here. I can recall I made a point earlier that we are not in a salary, we're not in a negotiating year.
Mm-hmm.
We are doing a compensation review, reclassification.
Yeah, it's
So
not a
a lot of things
negotiation.
that I'm saying.
A
A lot of things that I'm
2025,
saying.
2025
When
negotiator.
2025, when 2024, 25
That's when
come
they
and we start
negotiate, yes.
negotiate. These are some of the things we have to start negotiating. Because let me tell you something. The classrooms have gotten worse since COVID,
Mm-hmm.
We see more termite infested classrooms and desk and chairs since COVID, Because while the children were away, the termites were inside playing.
Learning.
And they were learning and learning good too. I see insects and termites, and you can tell me chichi infested boards, the roofs, the cellotex start coming down because you know what my granny always said, breath keep building, and there were no breath in the building all along. So the building start caving. It says it goes a long way because let me tell you, if we don't be careful, because when I go back to my primary school, me sit desk down there like me used to sit on my desk there, and that is 30 a year ago,
When I was campaigning, I mentioned it.
Wonder, how is it that we are able to keep these desks so long? I sat in a desk and I saw a little boy and I said to him, come here, Navan. I used to sit in these very desks. And he said, true, sir. How you tall? So he look up at me and let me say, how me hold under them desks? I said, yes, I used to sit under these very desks.
Yeah,
so the point I'm making though is that you see, education, if we're going to change education, we have to do so holistically. And if we are going to make an effort to change it, we have to make a real effort. We can't do it half-hearted.
Right? A real transformational change.
When I spoke to the building officer, I'm a good friend of Mannings. Me and go Mannings together and said to me, John man, listen to me. You're lucky you have a leak when we can get stop leak to patch. We have school that need a whole block. And it goes back to say, what are we doing in that country? What are we doing in that country? If we want to stem crime or we want to have a more healthy nation, we have to start with education, educating our people. Right? We talk about the Singapore model, but are we serious about getting the Singapore model? Are we willing to make that opportunity cost? Are we willing to say, Lord, start with me? If it means I'm me at the sacrificial lamb, start with me so that generations will be better. Who are we? You get me? Too much of us come inside here. 1 minute. Too much of us come inside education, rape the system, leave, and then bad mouth we who left and stay in it. And that has to stop.
I hope you not drop a word for Mr. Speed,
Me I drop my word for anybody, man, and if Speed feels say me bounce a shot one off of him. And if he say, ball beat because guess what happened, Virgin? The reality, I'm telling you, I talk my mind, and who get offended. You get me? I say,
yes.
As I tell you, say, who can afford to run will run. But what about those who can't?
The great Bob Marley.
You get me? Say, they will have to stay. If you can't run, if this is your only choice, I tell my niece, when my niece got fire training, I said to her, listen to me. If you run, can't come in my yard. Because if it in anything you do, a choice. If you have a choice, you always see another way out. Yes. So when pressure come, you feel the boy, I can go foreign or I can go down the so go check for my brother. You will leave. I know a lot of teachers who leave the system because they had a choice. So they have a rich husband or a rich wife, or they have family abroad who take care of them, or they have endowment funds. So they are able to do so. And I'm happy for them because it maintains their state of mind and their mental faculties. But me who don't have nothing to do, me who have to look to take care of my children, take care of my wife, me have to stay. This is the only thing I know. I two things I know in life, education and sport, and I don't know nothing more. My father was a builder, I think we used to go work with him because I don't want to learn trade. I don't want to learn trade. My father said, me go to the fields one time and some little red ants bite me. And from that, me go home and bathe and I tell my mother come and say, what you do? Me say, me I do my homework. And mommy say, you see, but make sure you take book because you don't like hard work. And so I know education and I know sport. Those are the only two things we know. Ask me
Yeah,
anything about
yeah.
it. I can talk to you whole day. But ask me about trade, ask me about anything, ask me about commerce. I might not be the best person at accounts. Some don't know about them thing there. But
Mr.
ask me about
German,
education.
Mr. German, we are coming to the end of the show. And the truth of the matter, the last 15 minutes, we have sort of diverted from how we start. But you know the good thing about it? We are still on education. We're still on education. I'll get you gentlemen back on the show when we're going to look deeper into the status of the country's, of the nation's educational system. Not so much the issues of the teachers, but more so teaching and learning. This has been a well spent 3 hours and 41 minutes, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you. You showed us that what we were doing, what we are doing, means a lot to you. So you stayed with us. But in closing, gentlemen, and I will go with Mr. O'Keefe Sanders, rather.
Yes, what I'm saying is that,
Well, answer. Let me give you the terms and condition I want you to close with.
okay.
Your final words to the teachers of this nation. And secondly, what changes would you like to see in the JTA? And the same thing goes for Mr. Drummond, Mr.
All right.
Sanders.
All right. I'm saying read the teachers of Jamaica. Maybe Mr. Drummond will not share the one with me, but I am telling the teachers of Jamaica. If you see greener pastures, go and graze. Because the government of Jamaica doesn't respect teachers, none at all. They don't care about our well-being. They don't care how we live. They don't care about the poverty life that we live, none at all. So I am saying to the teachers of Jamaica, as long as you see greener pastures, move on. That is all I have to tell them. Two, the JTA. I am encouraging the teachers to continue to be members, be a member of the JTA. Don't give up your membership. But remember, we own JTA. We employ the secretariat. And if we are not satisfied with their performance, we need to weed them out. Because as a big body of 26,000, we need a professional union. We need somebody to represent us. Because if we don't have anyone to represent us, government will spin us like a gig. Because if they are spinning us, kicking us around like a football, you can imagine if we don't have a JTA, they spin us like gig. So I'm saying the hypocrisy that is in JTA, we need to get rid of it. We need true representation for the teachers of Jamaica. JTA need a president who will look for the well-being of the teachers of Jamaica. Our secretariat, the same thing. We have to, is what the teacher says, not our opinion. And not until we have those changes in JTA, we will have a good union. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you go, Mr. O'Keefe Sanders. This man, I've known him for years. Of course, he's a no-nonsense man. He's the JTA presidential elect some years ago, and I'm sure that he'll be going back. You heard him. I'm sure that he deserves a chance. I'm not sure when, because with him, his very good friend, Mr. Godfrey Drummond, will give us his final take. Of course, what he has to say to the teachers and the changes you'd love to see in the hierarchy of the JTA. Mr. Drummond.
Well, let me just say to the teachers that listen to me. We are in tested times, but we have managed in the past to ride these high tides. So I'm asking you to just hold strain. Let us give the benefit of the doubt to the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Finance and the Jamaica Teachers Association who supposed to be acting our part. There are a few things that I would want to see done in the shortest possible order. One, I'd want to see remorse for the actions that were done. So I'd want to see holistically how the ministry deals with the situation. I want to see them apologize to the teachers for the grave disrespect that they would have put the teachers through, the embarrassment that would have caused over the last couple of weeks. I want to see accountability. I would want them to understand that teachers understand what is going on. Teachers are not insincere. It's just that if you treat teachers good and let them understand, keep them in the loop, then they'll be more appreciative of what is happening. Right? The next thing I want to see an apology being sincere. So you need to apologize for the actions. Right? And then you'd want to take steps to correct those measures in the shortest possible time. I don't know what are the nuances in terms of the salary calculation, but I am sure if there is a structured formula that is given, I am sure teachers will be more appreciative, even if it means that they get less salary. But it must be workable and teacher must understand. Apart from that, I'm saying it's each man for himself because that is where Jamaica is going on to. The belief structure, the distrust at the JTA, that has to end. I have to be doing damage control for things that I have never done. I want the JTA to understand that as a teacher myself, I mean, I too go through some of the things that they are going through, but we are members and we must be kept in the loop. And it is insincere. It borders on treachery and treason for you to act against the will of your members. The members comes first. The members are what make the organization. I want the admin staff to understand that they are paid and they are paid handsomely for the roles in which they were given. And so they have to carry out those tasks. It's a sad day for education in Jamaica. Very, very sad day. I would want to say, though, I would want to call for the head of the Minister of Education. I think that she is grossly incompetent, and I believe as a result of her incompetence, we are suffering. And I think the Prime Minister should revisit her job description and probably get someone who best suits this particular portfolio, who understands the plight of teachers, who understand the education pedagogy, who understand systems and who can work with the teachers to get the job done. Apart from that, the trust deficit has widened and it is getting wider each day. And so there seems to be no correlation and no connect between the ministry and its teachers. Apart from that, gentlemen, I don't see what will happen in the near future because teachers continue to grapple with mental health issues, and it's as a result of the heavy workload and the stresses that they have been put under by a very, very uncaring ministry.
I tell you, Sir Drummond, very, very decent closing statements, ladies and gentlemen. And I must say to you, I will add my piece to this, what I believe has been a very unfortunate situation that we, the teachers of this country, found ourselves in. What I would say, ladies and gentlemen, I am expecting nothing less from the Ministry of Education. But all I am saying, we need to look at how we operate. The fact that so many teachers of this country has given so many years of service, yes, not just years of service, but involuntary service, invaluable. There are teachers who have spent 30 plus years in education, and for some strange reason, they will be leaving the system uncomfortable. That does not make sense. To the Minister of Education, you listen to the cries of your teachers. You know what is happening. We need empathy. On behalf of those teachers who have still without their salary, have not received 1 cent, and I'm not even talking about retroactive, but what is actually being done, the teachers need more than an explanation. I have been here, there, and everywhere of the education system. I'm saying to you, to Jamaica, pay the teachers much more respect than what we have seen over the past couple of months. We are not hard to deal with. And because of this, I am asking that you come out, the Ministry of Education, not just an apology, but if you do apologize, we need to see the truth. We need to see you really mean that apology. Today is the 29th of March. You promised that the teachers would have been paid from the 21st and the 22nd. I am leading this charge because up to now, I have not been paid. So I'm not talking as if I don't understand. Education need a revamp. It need a revamp. And we could say much more as it relates to education. But guess what? We leave it right here for another session where we will discuss education, teaching and learning by itself. We will discuss where education will be. How do we look at 2020, 2030 rather, the vision 2030? How much do we have? Will we be able to realize that dream? Teachers, stay strong. I pray with you. I do understand. And as one member said to me earlier, Saudichress, you need to take this on. You need to be the voice of the teachers. My response was, I am not sure I have that capacity, but I will not turn it away. I come here every single Wednesday night with my guests so we can inform and educate, and we'll continue to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you very much for staying up with us over the past 3.5 hours. That showed me that we have done well. Our content tonight was good. I thank you very much for those who came on for the very first time. Thank you for your support. And I ask that you continue to support the Saudichress Show. Mr. Sanders, may God bless you, sir. Thank you very much to grace us tonight for the very first time. I hope you will be here another time. Mr. Drummond, for the second time, what can I say? Always putting his best foot forward. We have learned so much from you, gentlemen, and Mr. Speed, who left us early. As per usual, a great stalwart of the Jamaican education system. Unfortunately, he never retired there, but he still has the love for the country and the education system in general. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where we leave you. And hopefully, if you may, would join us this Friday night for an episode, maybe entertainment, maybe education, it may be sports. But guess what? Based on how things are, ladies and gentlemen, anything goes for Friday night. I'll let you know. And please, don't be afraid to join us. Whether you are for sports, education, or entertainment, look at where you are now. You stayed with us for so long. That means you enjoy your show. Thank you very much again. And gentlemen, may God bless you. We'll see you soon than later. This
Yes,
is
sir.
where we say goodbye.
Yes.